We should treat this conversation as if you and me are sitting down to a bar and meeting each other for the first time. I was just sitting here thinking about like, what kind of things would we say to each other if we were just meeting each other first? What kind of stories would we tell each other? What kind of experience? Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
I don't know.
I think this was, go ahead. Can you start? Hi. Hey, so I do this, right?
You know what I just realized?
There we go. Nice to meet you, man. My name's Ben. What's going on?
God.
This is going to be great. I'm already tuned in.
I got a bell on this already. Good afternoon, evening, good evening.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Coming to you live. What is the, you just sounded like,
Walter Cronkite?
Was that who it is?
I don't know. I was just making
That's
voices.
what it sounded like to me, though.
It was my very official.
Right?
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you remember watching the news?
Oh, yeah. Dude.
I was listening to something. It was a podcast. There's a new podcast that I'm listening to.
Podcast.
It's called Dysfunctional.
Oh. I'm glad I remind you of that.
Yeah, it's this guy over here. It's called, the name of it's Dysfunctional. Gosh dang it, I want to make sure because I love this guy. Anyways, this guy, his name's Josh Conley.
I think you're that's like the fourth wall for the podcast.
Right.
I think you're the first person to grab their phone and look at it, to look something up while we've been podcasting.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's one thing, like...
Jesus Christ.
You're doing great.
I don't...
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Craig and Ben Show.
Holy cow.
After dark.
Okay. Everything happened at once.
I don't know, right? Hang on a minute. Let me light that fire again.
How many things do I have right here? Okay.
There's going to be a fire.
Bam.
Oh
my goodness.
God, I'm good at this.
So peaceful.
Is that crickets I hear?
So relaxing. We'll figure this out.
Yeah, we're totally going to get this. So this is I want to roll right into what we're doing. So
Let's do it.
This is super fun. This is all the other episodes we've done. Obviously, we've had some context and titles, and here's what we're working on, right? And we're going to talk about certain things.
Yes.
Some
frameworks. Structure.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah, structure. I really like structure.
Structure's nice.
Yeah.
It's helpful.
It can be.
This one's going to be a little bit different.
Maybe a hair less structure.
Just a little bit different. We decided, what is it called? Brave Men After Dark.
Yeah, Brave Men After Dark. That's right. Yeah, did I see the Craig and Ben Show? Yeah.
The Craig and Ben Show's good.
Yeah, it is. I mean, It says Craig and Ben under Bravemendare.
Right.
Yeah, so
right.
I was,
That is such a peaceful...
It really is. I actually feel warm.
Right?
I don't.
I had when I was setting everything up, because some of the lights have the feature where you can set up like special effects on them, and they totally have
like lightning.
No, they do have lightning.
Okay,
but they totally have a campfire setting.
Oh,
I tried it,
and
I was like, I don't think I can do it.
No, just too
much.
A
little too much, yeah. But
yeah,
it would
just
cool.
too hot in here.
It would get too hot. A little too warm in here.
Yeah. But I think this is going to be, this is going to be us. This is definitely a non-scripted, non-sanctioned,
I think it's pretty obvious that none of these are scripted. Right. Could you imagine?
No.
Trying to, I'm not a script guy.
No, neither am I.
Right.
So please tell me an experience that you have not being a scripted guy.
Not being a scripted guy.
Did you ever f up somebody's Miranda rights and just be like, oh.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, there's not Miranda, quote unquote, rights. I mean, obviously there are.
Yeah, it's really the case, right? Because it's not a law; it's case law.
Well, yeah, it's case law, but there are rights, like that. At some point you have to read to somebody.
Yeah.
But I arrested a lot of people without reading those rights. But that's not uncommon.
Okay.
So essentially it's like, if I was going to interrogate somebody or if I was going to question somebody specifically about something, right?
Yeah.
Then I would make sure that I read them that they're rights and they sign a little.
But if you're like, no, I'm arresting you.
Yeah, like
I'm
if
not
you're
asking
under
you
arrest.
any question.
Yeah, it's not like I have to suddenly read you your rights simply because you're under arrest.
No, that's good to know.
To read you your rights
in case I'm ever in that situation,
right? Yeah, it used to happen all the time where like, you never read me my rights. Yeah, dude, I don't do that every time.
Yeah.
It's,
It's
a case-by-case basis,
Yeah,
and you didn't meet the criteria, so...
eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Right? It's every third arrest.
Yeah, it's every third arrest.
You're number
You actually
4.
won the lottery.
So, anyways, yeah. So we didn't do that a lot.
I lost to rock, paper, scissors with my partner, so I don't have to do it this time.
What's that?
Read them the rights.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were so many things, though, that radio traffic was always really, really hard because you have to get really used to it.
Yeah.
And there's like almost this, because it's not just one agency on the radio. There's multiple agencies on the radio. And so there's lots of times where you go to key up and say something and just fail miserably.
Yeah.
And completely butcher it. And they just keep making it worse and worse the more you're trying to fix it. It's horrible. I have a lot of those experiences.
Yeah.
But then like there were always those times too where like I would surprise myself with how much I could get out in the amount of time. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really funny that you've brought this part up. It's for any of my friends that I flew with or I served with, and I mean served with like in a helicopter, right? We talk and teach how to communicate because we have same thing. We have outside agencies, so we have you have 5 different radio frequencies going at the same time.
Oh, nice.
Plus, you have your internal communication system,
Right.
Right. So you have to be very clear, concise, to the point.
Your job was you have a very unique set of skills that prepared you for that job. Because that alone is like ultimate ADHD heaven right
100%,
there.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I got 5 channels on top
100%.
of the one that...
Yeah. You're telling me we're flying through space and I have to worry about everything above us, below us, to the right, to the left, in front, and behind?
Yeah.
And everything that's happening in the helicopter?
At the same time.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Right? I try to overwhelm me.
Right.
Right? Shit gets worse. And for anybody that I serve, shit gets worse, I get better.
Yeah, man.
Right? But yeah, so we have calls, and it's funny, I literally just said this the other day. We, in the back of a helicopter, my helicopter, we would say, I got 5 pins, set of chocks, right? So pins hold the landing gear down, auxiliary tanks on. So I've got 5 pins, set of chocks that we throw underneath the nose wheel. Ramps up, right? Tail skids down, we're all setting back, right? First time we would also say, all tools accounted for. Like, hey, I got an ATAF, we're good, right? And you would say that every time you take off.
I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But I'm going to.
Okay.
You don't have anything to apologize for.
All right.
I think we should treat this conversation this evening. I just had inspiration hit me. We should treat this conversation as if you and me are sitting down to a bar and meeting each other for the first time.
I don't know if I can do that.
The type of... You don't think you could do that?
I'm going to try.
I mean, I don't know, right? I was just sitting here thinking about like, what kind of things would we say to each other if we were just meeting each other first? What kind of stories would we tell each other? What kind of experience? Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
I think it's just, go ahead. Can you start? Hi. Hang on. Hey, so I do this, right?
You know what I just realized?
There we go. Nice to meet you, man. My name's Ben. What's going on?
God.
This is going to be great. I'm already tuned in.
I got a bell on this already. It immediately reminds me of like that episode of Modern Family where they pretend to be 2 other people that meet in the hotel lobby.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, she's like, why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
You want to be Phil?
He was from Salt Lake.
Call me a dirty girl.
I don't think he was from Salt Lake, but he had a place in Salt Lake.
Like in real life? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That guy?
That actor guy.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name.
I don't know.
Mark Eubanks.
Is that what it is?
No.
No. I was like...
That's an old school reference to some Utah newscaster guy. Where are we? I was going to ask you a question.
No, we've just met at a bar.
That's right. That's right, sir. Tell me about...
No, I asked you. Hi, how's it going? What's your name?
My name is Craig.
Hey, Craig, my name's Ben.
What name did you used to give people? Did you ever have a time period where you would give other names?
2.
What were they?
So the first one, and this is terrible, Josh Dillon.
Josh Dillon.
That was my alter ego.
Okay.
He lived in the trailer park that I lived in for a while and wouldn't let me hook up with his cousin. So anytime I got in trouble, all the way up till I was like 20, my name is Josh Dillon.
Would you use it when you got like in legit trouble, like with the law? Would you ever give his name?
I can't tell you if I have or...
The statute of limitations is
right.
over.
I'm like,
I'm not reading your rights right now, so you're okay. None of this is admissible.
Yeah, I don't know. So I did that. I don't think I actually ever truly, like, the one or two times like I got in trouble, like they had my license.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
But I was never. So I would say that, and for a while I said Brian.
Brian.
If I had a twin brother, because I had twin sisters, right, Jamie and Jesse, and I figured if I had a twin brother, it would be like Ben and Brian's the only thing I could come up with.
You're fucking like this is you're fucking with me now. Like,
I swear
this
to
is
God.
how I know this is the Matrix. Okay, this is the Matrix, and you're Agent Smith.
Yeah.
My brother's name is Brian. And I've told you how you remind me of him. Haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that used to be your. It would not surprise me at all if suddenly you pulled off like a Mission Impossible mask, right?
And just
and
rolled
that's
it.
my fucking brother sitting right there.
Hey, bud.
That would not surprise me. I mean, it's the fucking Matrix.
I agree that there's I'll tell you what, as time's gone on, the first time I heard the idea that we were living in a simulation.
What kind of helicopter did you fly in?
So I flew in a CH-53 Echo.
Okay.
It is the biggest, fastest, strongest helicopter in the U.S. arsenal. In, I would say, arguably the free world and the not-so-free world, because they don't really have a lot of helicopters.
Right.
'Cause Afghanistan's got a few helicopters now. So it's not, it's the only helicopter that can pick up itself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's a unique set of skills. So super cool helicopter. That was literally BK, this guy who was just been a part of my life. BK, I don't know if you ever watched this, but if you do, man, I love you. He just one of those guys who came into my life at one point and then came in again and then was around for some important things in my world, right?
Wow.
And has seen like the ups and downs of me, especially through that time period, right? There wasn't a lot of people that were around for all of it.
Yeah.
But BK was my instructor at aircrew candidate school, where they like, hey, are you physically capable of doing this job? Which has got a bunch of requirements. But he walks in and he's like, hey, we're going to do a wish list of what kind of type model series you want to fly on. And it's basically C-130s, which is fixed wing, right? Okay, no combat, right? Because you have to. Part of this was I enlisted during a time of war. We were actively in Iraq and Afghanistan. So he said, you do that, no combat, but you get to fly around, right? You'll go to overseas and stuff, but you won't actually ever see combat. You've got frogs, which are they came out in like 1946.
Nice.
Like we already know the replacements here.
Right.
Like it's there's those, they suck. Then there's skids, Hueys, and Cobras, right? Hey, combat, right? Small helicopter, you're going to spend a lot of time bent over. And I was like, okay. And he's like, and I don't think Ospreys were an option at that point. But then he was like, and then there's the CH-53 Echo, the Super Stallion. It's the biggest, strongest, fastest helicopter in the military and in the free world. And I was like, fuck, you got me. That was just like, yeah, that's what I want to fucking work on.
Right.
Yeah. And he was a 53 guy. So he was so we call him shitters.
Nice.
That's our nickname. So it's like frogs, ospreys are plopters, right? Those are the ones that have the big thing that rotates down. Harriers are called lawn darts, right? So like everything's got its own nickname. And CH-53 Echoes, or CH-53s, sorry, Deltas, and Kilo guys, we're shitters. We're shit kids, shitter kids. It's fun.
Shit asses.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know a 53 guy. Like if you're walking around the flight line and you see somebody roll up, that's a 53 guy. Yeah. It's giant. It's almost 100 feet long.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I want to pull one up, but I don't think I'd be able to manipulate. We saw what happened earlier when I tried to use my phone.
The world,
Apparently
the
I
Matrix.
broke the internet. It's totally the Matrix.
You totally broke the Matrix.
No, I've been having really legit conversations lately
About the Matrix.
with people externally, like in the real world.
Okay.
And then internally, like in my own world.
Okay.
I'm crazy balls deep in it right now in the fact that this is the Matrix.
Okay.
I'm 100% Neo because it's the Matrix. So of course I'm going to just be whoever I want, right?
Yeah. You're going to pick.
So I'm going to pick
Nobody
Neo.
picks the NPC,
right?
That gets its fucking face blown off in the opening scene of the robbery. Right?
I'm one of the cops.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, who are you? I'm the new cadet from Old Country with No Country for Old Men. Fuck.
So I'm Neo, and I'm just in like legitimately the Matrix every single day. And it's bananas. Like, it's really driving me not crazy in a bad way. It's just like this really cool experience of constantly seeing kind of like behind it all almost. It's very weird. I'm also high a lot.
Yeah.
That might contribute.
Listen, I support you.
Right.
I
Support you.
I don't think I've gone that far. I'm not as deep.
Yeah.
I'm still, I haven't got past permafrost yet, right? Like I'm still pretty surface level.
I'm like mainlining those red pills.
Yeah, dude.
Chopping those things up and just give me the red pill.
Yeah, red pill.
I'm so ready.
Yeah.
Like last night I had this experience. I also have to shout out to a buddy of mine who has been filling me in on some incredible experiences that he's having, but it's inspiring me to try to like really connect to my third eye and start doing like deep work meditatively and out of body experience. Experiential. What's that fancy word? Come on, Ben.
I don't know that word.
Levioso, right? Suddenly it's fucking Harry Potter. That's exactly what I heard. No,
no, I know. What are you talking about?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
You're talking about out-of-body experiences?
Yes, I've been practicing.
I've been doing a lot of push-ups. You've been working on another thing.
Well, first off, my yoga's going great.
Is it? Oh, God, I was totally going to ask.
I know. I forgot I was going to talk about it.
Flexi going.
It's going so freaking good.
Good.
Like as soon as I forgot to talk about a lot of things.
So far, yeah. Well,
I had so many things I was going to talk about at the beginning of this camp show.
Well, we missed, right? So it's been a minute.
Yes, we've had a couple of. We had a little bit of a. Yeah, it's been a minute since we've recorded.
Yes,
that's what you said.
Yes, yeah, it's been a minute since we've.
So
recorded.
I wanted to. This is episode 10.
Yeah.
So I think it's perfect.
Yeah. No,
right?
Okay, this is great.
Right.
Listen, episode.
Right.
Right.
But I thought that was I thought
we have a
episode
campfire.
10. Exactly. I thought episode 10 would be a great after dark, Brave Men After Dark for episode 10.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. And then what else was I going to say? It's gone.
It's gone now.
Yeah.
That happens.
It does happen.
Yep.
But I have been practicing out-of-body experiences.
Yeah. How's that
going?
My
yoga's going so good.
Yoga's going so good. Say we're back to it. There you go.
It's going great.
Okay.
As soon as I had that day that we recorded that episode, right?
You started.
I started.
Yeah.
And haven't stopped.
Yeah, okay.
And so it's been really, really, really helpful.
Yeah, dude.
And it has been like so many amazing things have happened from just the short time that it's been. I don't know how many days it's been. I feel like it's been 8 or 9 days or something like that.
Yeah, I think I'd go with 8 or 9.
Maybe day 10 or something. I'm not sure. But
you're not counting?
Well, because I knew that I would lose track.
That's why you count.
I know these things about me. That's why you count. If only shit. Hold on, I got to take a note here.
Well, I mean,
I don't know why I didn't think of that one.
There you go. You got a fucking note thing, right? I've got my 75 hard app
over here.
You could use the 75 hard app. I don't think you'd actually get away with using it.
Yeah, no. What I've decided, and it works great for me, is I just have an end date.
Boom.
So I knew what my end date was.
Day 43.
See, that's great.
Look at that. Day 43.
I love that.
It's fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
mine's
I want cake.
Great.
I'm glad that yours is
I'm
so
eating
good.
cake.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're just like like little cake. It's like God,
it's wonderful.
I hate.
But what I did, Ben, because it was so important to me, because
you have
I
an
knew
extra
that
cake for me. Is that what you did for me? Thanks, bud.
I'm going to bring the cake in soon.
Yeah, don't
Can we
you
just
eat
bring
cake
it in
front of me? You
we need to bring the cake
dirty
in.
Whore.
But it's been the thing that has like really grounded my experience of what I'm going through right now. This time period in my life, Steph and I joke about. There's a line in
a movie.
Yes,
a song. Is it Dixie Chicks?
I think it's Good Will Hunting.
Okay,
but I could be wrong.
What's the line?
You met me at a very interesting time in my life.
Nope,
it's not
that
Good
is
Will
Fight
Hunt.
Club.
It's Fight Club.
Yep.
Thank you.
He's talking to Marlo.
Yeah.
At the end.
So I use that all the time.
It's a great one.
Right. I've used it
before. It's good. I think I said it to
many
Jamie.
women.
I actually think I said it to Jamie.
Did you?
And
I 100% said it to Stephanie.
I 100% because Jamie and I met at a very interesting point in my life.
Exactly.
And I was like,
it's applicable.
Yeah, it was 100% applicable.
I only use it when it's applicable.
100%. But it's a great when it's applicable.
Yes.
And then you're like, oh man, pulling that one out.
Yeah.
Fight Club reference. Love it.
Yes. And I think that's what I can say to you right now.
Yeah.
I feel like you are meeting me at a very interesting time in my life.
Well, I met you 2 years ago.
I thought about that too.
Yeah.
It's coming up on.
But there's a difference.
Totally a difference.
Totally a difference.
Totally a difference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like I'm, even 2 years ago when we moved here, I feel like I'm a different person than I was.
Well,
then.
yeah, you're older.
Thank you. Again, I need a fucking app for these.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. No, but the yoga, back to the yoga.
Yeah, yoga, man.
It's helping me so much.
So do you have a name for it?
No, I just do yoga every day.
Could you, because it's 75 heart, and I guess you could do 75 yoga.
I just did 75 yoga.
Yeah, 75.
That's what I've been calling it.
Because not to be like mean, but the first, I'm like 75 soft.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's yoga and and when I think of soft, I think of like soft muscles because you're like stretching and stuff like that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's stretching going on. Yoga is 100% magic and I love it.
Listen, I like yoga.
Yeah. And I already feel stronger. I feel more flexible. I can feeling better.
Good.
Yeah, I'm surprisingly feeling a lot of what I think was wrong in like my ankles and in my feet and
do you feel like, because like you had jujitsu and you had yoga, you were doing a fair amount, right?
Yeah, we were doing yoga. Yeah.
And then you met that evil bitch.
I know.
Called
and
pickleball.
Then pickleball came in my life.
Pickleball came along, and I feel like pickleball happened, and you were like, yoga, you suck.
Right?
And you were like, nah, yoga, I got pickleball now. Fuck you, yoga.
I know.
And
I did the same thing with jiu-jitsu. I threw everything out just so that I could come back to pickleball.
Yeah.
And it just has beaten the shit out of me every single time.
Yeah, that's your body trying to tell you something there, buddy.
I know.
Yeah. Stop mainlining red pill. More pickleball. Fuck it. More pickleball.
Right? It feels so much better though. Like I can really feel, I think what had happened was a lot of my body just started to shut down.
Yeah.
And from tension and stress and, all these kind of different things. And so it's been really helpful. And I've been really, really grateful for it. And I just love like, I haven't put a lot of structure around it. I haven't really made it. The thing is I just have to get on my yoga mat every day.
There you go.
And I do yoga.
Have you just got on the yoga mat and taken a nap?
I don't take a nap.
Okay. What's it called when you just lay there?
Shavasana.
Shavasana.
Yeah.
No, I said it wrong.
You said the Russian version or something. I don't know what that was.
I'm really bad at enunciating.
Shavasana.
Yeah, so I call it Shavasana. That's not it. What's it called?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to say it now. It's called Shavasana.
Shavasana.
Yeah.
It's my favorite yoga pose.
It's corpse pose.
Corpse pose, yeah.
That's literally what
you just lay there.
That's the the rough
it
Western translation
of being a Marine.
Well, the whole reason it's called corpse pose is because you're practicing death.
Again, it reminds me of being a Marine.
It all sounds exactly like my time in the Marines.
Exactly.
Right?
I was like, hey, I got nothing going on. I'm just going to lay on this floor here.
Yeah, no, I haven't done just a yoga mat corpse pose, but I mean, I'm doing all sorts of different breath work and
that's good.
There's a bunch of different types of yoga, so like kriyas and things like that. I have a bunch of different, like kind of like the things that I just like the most from all these different types of yoga. I'm just cycling through them and,
what are the things that you like the most from yoga?
Because yoga isn't just the physical act of moving your body in those poses. That's just one small component of it. And so yoga is truthfully life. Like yoga essentially is union is what yoga is. And it's just the union with source. Okay. And so I just live a yogic life. I'm connected to that in all times in a sense, right? Yeah. And at the same time, like the practice of getting on a yoga mat or something that, whatever, right? There's the practice included in that as well. So it's a lot of, yes, physical movement, but There's a form of yoga called yin yoga.
Okay.
And you'll hold a pose for an extended period of time. So you might be in child's pose or really any pose, depending upon what you're attempting or needing it for several minutes. And the whole goal of it is to just deepen and relax into that.
Okay.
And so I've been doing a lot of that and finding a lot of like just opening up of my hips and relaxing of all of these muscles. And I can feel all the little spots that, because you know this, like when you get injured, you've got all of those little micro muscles that go to work, right? The parts of your body that engage to protect the wounded parts, right? So all of those parts suddenly get to go relax and decompress. And next thing you know, I'm like, totally like big, huge, deep breaths and just releasing and letting go so much tension in my body. And I'm loving it. So I'm excited to see what 75 days of this is.
That's cool. That's not what I was thinking about when I said other parts
types of yoga.
Other parts of yoga. I was thinking about yoga pants. I was thinking about yoga blocks.
I use my blocks.
Yeah.
I use the blocks a lot. Yeah, they help a lot.
That's good.
Because
you gotta block it up.
Well, I'm not as flexible.
You're a pretty flexible guy.
I am a flexible guy, but I'm not as flexible as I normally am. I'm out of flexibility. My flexibility is low. My flexibility meter is...
I don't know if I would say that.
I got to not flex around so much so that I can build it back up. Do you remember like in Street Fighter where you would have a move or any of those games, right? And then it's like, you got to let that bar build back up if you want to attack.
Yeah.
My flexibility meter is pretty low right now.
I don't think, maybe right now, right? I was thinking about it as you were saying this. So I get a lot of, you're flexible for a big guy.
Yes.
Right? You hear this?
Yeah, I get that all the time.
I get that a lot, right? And I don't think I'm that flexible. Like I feel like I'm just normal flexible. I do not consider myself an overly flexible person.
Right.
I can touch my toes, right? And I can't put my like ankles behind my head.
Right.
I've tried. But so regularly flexible person. But I don't know, and maybe just for me, like the circles that I have run in, right?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people I think that are bigger guys that aren't that flexible.
I've met some.
Chad's a little not flexible.
Chad's not flexible. I've met quite a few big guys that just aren't flexible.
Yeah. Maybe I just I'm attracted to the I feel magnetism with the flexible.
I think it's because you're a little guy in a big body.
I'm a little guy in a big body.
I think it's the same thing I got.
Little guy in a big body.
Yeah. I think I'm a little guy in a big body because I don't think I'm big.
Yeah, I don't think I'm big.
Right. And so in my brain, I'm flexible as fuck. Like when I was a kid.
Flexy as fuck, boy.
When I was a kid, I was like doing gymnastics and, walking on my hands all the time, cartwheels.
I used to be able to do the
round offs,
the pop
backflips. Yeah.
I've done back. Well,
yeah.
I did a backflip as a big guy.
Yeah. I was.
Have you done a standing backflip?
I haven't done a standing backflip.
Yeah. That's what. So if you get on YouTube, super great tutorials.
They are really
on
good
how
tutorials.
To do it. Yeah.
Not for me anymore, though.
Oh, yeah.
I could get there. I could get there. Maybe.
I'm like,
I believe anything's possible. It's the Matrix.
Yeah, it's the Matrix, right?
I'm just going to download it.
I bet we could get you to do a backflip.
Tank, send me that fucking program.
Yeah.
Right?
I know Kung Fu.
Right?
Prove it.
No, I think that's the thing, right? You're a little guy in a big body.
I haven't thought about it that way.
Right.
I am a little guy in a big body.
Yeah. I think we got these little avatars inside that are driving these big
bodies around. They're bumping. That's why we run into stuff, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably a good point.
And I think those little avatars in there driving us around are just our little boys.
Yeah.
Pretending to be adults.
Yeah.
Pretending to be these big kids up here.
Yeah,
when really, like, what do you like doing? I like fucking playing.
Yeah.
I like driving cars.
Yeah, I like driving cars.
Right. Get me on a fucking
people,
bike, right?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'll totally go ride a bicycle around.
Yeah.
Not for a long time because I'll probably get tired.
Right.
A motorcycle.
Motorcycle would be fun.
Maybe, I don't know. Oh, man. This is the hard part about getting old.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, lots of injuries.
Tell me about it, 4-year-old.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You're only like 2 years.
I killed to be fucking 40. Yeah. I was a fucking animal at 40.
Fucking animal.
I was rolling 5 days a week.
Listen, I'm doing pretty good at 40. we
Talk
had
to me when you're seeing 44 around the corner.
yeah, right.
I'm 43 and 3/4, or I'm 43 and 3/4.
9 3/4.
Yeah, I don't know how fucking old I am
Yeah.
anymore. What are you saying? I keep
My
interrupting
point is,
you.
my point. You are my point is, as I got older, last year I jumped on a quad.
Okay.
Like it was a Polaris 500, right? Like,
yeah.
And it was a sport quad, and I was like, all right, on our property, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. I've ridden quads a bunch, right? And I take off and I go down to the back corner of our property, and I like go ripping it up, like find third gear, maybe some fourth gear, hit a little wallop, right? And I was like, oh, like puckered up a little bit because I lost the ground for a minute. I was like, okay. Went down. I was like, hey, how do I ease my way back into some high speed turning, right? And because I didn't want to fucking throw myself, because then my wife would have caught me and been like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Right?
You're going to get in big trouble.
Yeah, I'm going to get big because I hurt myself, right? Doing something stupid. But I was like, all right, cool. And as soon as I think I was on for maybe 10 minutes, and I was in the back part of the field, and all of a sudden my hand stopped working.
Oh, no.
And I was like, ow. And my hands were just like, no, that was all. We don't have any more in you. And I was just like, I literally couldn't squeeze. And I was just like, fuck me. Like, stupid. And I finally coaxed myself. Like, I got back in, I parked it, got off, and I went upstairs, and she was like, you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm totally fine. And like, when I was like, my hands hurt so bad. So I can't do that shit anymore.
Right.
No more dirt bikes.
It's so frustrating.
Yeah. I might be able to do like, and this is the hard part, is I think maybe not last year, Ben, but like this year, Ben, or maybe next year, Ben.
Okay.
I'll be like, no, I can get a dirt bike. And I just know that I'm not going to be the asshole ripping up and down the bumpies at 80, right? Because they're like, no. That hurts.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, you don't need to go fast.
No.
You just go nice and slow.
That's why I'm building that 4-wheel drive, or that fucking go-kart. Right?
That
so
thing's going to go fast, though.
Dude, that thing's going to go fast. But that thing's got a roll cage.
Yeah.
Right?
Not to test, though. Don't test it.
No, test.
No.
I don't trust my welds that much. Like, would it be fine? Yeah. I'm not going to run into a wall with it.
I feel like I had a question for you like 4 thoughts ago.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember what it was, though.
I don't know.
Do you have your water? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man.
Cool.
My super juice.
Right. This fire is so fucking peaceful.
It really is. I'm not going to lie. The crackle.
Right. I don't know if it's going to actually come through on the... I'm sure it probably will in some regard. I don't know.
Crackle.
Anyways, it sounds great. It's awesome.
I pulled the table over a little bit.
What's one of your like favoriteest camping experiences? No, hold on. Not camping experiences. Like one of your, and it doesn't have to be your, sometimes I quantify these things. I'm like, give me your all-time.
Yeah, I want this, not this.
Not this one.
Yeah. And third down the list.
Exactly. And then like by the
and then
time
I want you to put
done,
an English spin on it.
Yeah. I get done explaining it. You're like, I don't fucking know what we're talking about
I'm
anymore.
like, what are you talking about, Craig?
Just your favorite time around a campfire. Some of your favorite times around a campfire. Go.
Ooh, I'm trying to think. That's a
good
hard
question, right?
It's a solid question. I don't know if I could give you a solid answer.
This might be one of yours happening right now.
It could be.
You might be.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Now.
This will go down. I think the core
Could
memory.
be.
Hang on a minute.
Core memory. Putting
cheap.
it in.
Yeah, I just put it in the bank.
Installing it in the vault.
Yep.
I'm the vault.
Yeah, I was like, I wouldn't call anything I remember a vault, right?
I wanted to, before I forget, I want to tell you about this baseball.
You're not going to throw it at me, right?
No.
All right, good.
But I'm going to hold on to it for a minute, and I want to hear a camp story, or not a camp story.
Camp.
Unless you've got a camp story.
I think, okay, so honestly, one of my favorite memories of sitting around a campfire is the first time that Jamie and we went to Yosemite. We were there with my best friend, John Ward, right? And his wife and 3 kids. Jamie and I had only been dating like 6 months. Not even, it was like 5 months. And I convinced her to go to Yosemite with me. And it was a terrible camping trip. But the first time we got to like hang out, we got a campfire going, and we got to like sit there and just around a campfire. It was great.
Yeah. Was that the first time the two of you had done a campfire together?
I think so. I can't imagine. A real campfire. We drank a bunch.
Okay.
So, and we were in like San Diego, So we were at the bars with like the fire things and all that all the time.
Yeah, no, not those.
Not those. We're not talking about that shit.
No,
we're talking about like a fire.
Yeah,
like there's
like
wood
a TV,
burn.
like a TV fire.
A TV fire? This is a good
like
fire.
sit by a TV fire.
I just kind of like want to warm my hands.
I'm trying to remember the first time that Stephanie and I were around a fire outside. It probably, her family used to go to Bear Lake every year. I think we've talked about that before on an episode. And it was probably one of those experiences. Haven't we talked about Bear Lake? Boating the lake. Anyways, that's not an important
Boats
story.
and hoes.
Some of my, like, I've got so many. As I posed the question, I suddenly had a flood.
That's because you're kind of a jerk about it. You asked the question, and
right?
then while I'm sitting here going like,
I'm so good at it.
Yeah, you are. I'm just like, no. You tell me yours first.
Yeah. I had a flood of them that started coming back. And I was actually suddenly really grateful for all of the experiences that I've had around campfires.
I love campfires.
I feel like when it really comes down to it, I mean, I've had some, I don't know if I'd say like bad experiences. I've had some rough experiences around campfires, but few and far in between, right? The vast majority of my experiences, like if there's a campfire involved, it's a fucking good day.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that thing, like every day, not that thing, that's a bumper sticker or a t-shirt somewhere about fishing.
Gas or grass, nobody rides for free.
No, it's a good day fishing is a good day dying. Something like that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Anyways, the end result is I love campfires, and I have a lot of good memories around them. And I was trying to call up one specific one. I mean, so many of them because I had like...
You're doing a great job stalling.
I know, right? I'm trying to flesh them out, and they keep flooding too fast.
Go.
Boy Scouts.
Okay.
So a lot of...
How long were you in the Boy Scouts?
It was a big part of childhood for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
Are you?
Yeah, I was only in the Boy Scouts for like a year.
Okay. I did the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Like beginning to end.
I read all the books.
Yeah.
Because I got kicked out of the troop.
Okay.
For fighting.
Okay.
Yeah. Kid was a jerk.
Yeah. Some of them are.
Yeah. He called me a bunch of names. And I was like, yeah, I don't like you.
Kicked his ass.
I actually think I got my ass kicked.
Oh, yeah?
But I started it totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got asked not to. I think that's what happened.
You think that's what happened? That's your recollection of it?
Yeah. But not 100% sure.
Right.
But I know we weren't allowed to do it anymore. And I went and got all the books because I knew that I wanted to know all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I got all the different books from like, what's the bottom of, is it Bear?
Yeah, so if you're talking about, because you've got Cub Scouts and
it
then
wasn't
you've got
Cub Scouts,
Boy
it was
Scouts.
Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts, I think
What's the
Tenderfoot or I can't remember the very first, because Bear is Cub Scouts.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Bear's Cub Scouts. Because you have, what's up? Who we got coming in here?
Who's that?
It's a little kiddo. I think the kids showed up.
Oh, gotcha. They're like, what's going on in there?
Yeah, Bears are Cub Scouts.
Okay. Well,
Because
I don't
in
know
Scouts
what the
you've
fuck I'm
got
talking about.
Wolf, Bear.
Yeah.
See, this is actually really sad that I can't remember all of these.
Oh.
Like it's 100%. Let's go, Boy Scout. I remember all the things. The Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, clean, brave, and reverent. Something like that, I think. The 12.
I think you just watched the movie Up.
Right?
And that's what you remember.
It's that scene where he's like, how many brothers do you have? Can you name all of your brothers? Ricky, Ticky, Tommy, Ticky, Tatty, Johnny. I love Good Will Hunting.
It's so good.
It's so freaking good. I don't remember what we're talking about. Scouts and campfires.
So you had a memory.
I had so many good, like I had a lot of, some of the ones that were coming back to me when I was a cop. I had a handful of really close buddies that we worked together on a crew for quite a while. Because the way that they worked it was, you know, if you're on patrol, you've got, how many sergeants were there? I think like 4, if I remember right. 4 or 5 sergeants. And underneath each one of those sergeants, you've got, you know, a handful of officers.
Yeah.
And so you'll have like a lead officer. What were they called?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness. I feel like this was a lifetime ago. I can't remember any of these things. But you'd have like the OIC, officer in charge. So he would be like the guy that would, the most senior officer, and then everybody underneath him. And so you'd have like 3 or 4 guys if you were lucky. Like most of the time it was like you and 2 or 3 other guys on. So you're trying to cover the entire city, like super short stuff. It was a nightmare. Anyways, hey, real quick, if you're just somebody that listens to podcasts, thank you. But if you want to watch us week after week, jump over to our YouTube channel. Just search out Bravemendare. Click that subscribe button. Don't forget the little notification bell, and come see what we're all about week after week on the podcast. We share tons of content there as well, and we even have some plans in the future to do some live episodes. So come subscribe to us on YouTube, and while you're at it, you might as well follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok as well. We hope you're enjoying this episode. Let's get back to it. Really good group of guys that I was on.
And you guys were hanging out at a campfire.
Yeah, but
Kumbaya.
like those were the guys that I was on a crew with for a long time. Yeah. So we got really, really close. And we used to go camping. There's a handful of times where we would go and do like man camp. Okay. And then we did family camp where we took all the kids and wives and everything like that. I think we did that once, but such good times around the fire. Yeah. I mean, just like literally just sitting and talking by the fucking fire.
Yeah, man. Ipso facto.
Right?
The fucking fire.
Exactly. Yeah. It's hands down some of the greatest things ever. Like they're my favorite. We used to have a fire pit in our backyard in Utah, and life, and how life goes, right? Where you make the intention. We're like, we're going to do this every weekend. Oh yeah. This is the best thing. 100%. 100%. The most, incredible thing. I don't know how come we don't do this more often. Yep. And you'll go through like a week of like going out there every other night and really getting the benefit. And then it sits there and, you don't use it again for 6 more months, but we've got a lot of time like that outside, and you used to be able to look up and see the stars real well. And
I feel like that's what happens with hot tubs.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Totally.
People get hot tubs and they're like, yeah, we're going to use this thing all the time. In the first like year, maybe 2 years, you use it a lot. Mm-hmm. Right? And then
I was about to ask you some hot tub stories, and then I was like, I don't want to share any of my hot tub stories. I'm not going to ask questions I'm not willing to answer.
That's a solid, bold move, Cotton.
Right?
Yeah, I like that. That's a good. I was like, oh, I wasn't going to share any stories, but I was just talking about it, man.
Hot tubs are nice.
Yeah, hot tubs are nice. I want a hot tub,
right? I've got a miniature one out back.
You do?
Yeah. And I used it like all last year.
Yeah.
It was really, really good.
Same as my cold plunge. I haven't been to my cold plunge in a fucking year.
Yeah. I think the last time we did a cold plunge at the gym was the last time I used my cold plunge. That's totally the last time I was in a cold plunge. Because it was like, I brought it back home and I didn't set it back up.
Oh, God, that's one of my favorite stories is that first cold plunge we did.
Oh, my goodness. With the gal.
The gal.
That shared way too much information as soon as she got into the water.
Too much information.
Yeah. That was fun.
It was.
I bet she's got some hot tub stories.
I bet. No doubt. Yeah.
I'm going to make Steph panic if she's, because is Jamie listening to episodes?
Yeah. Yeah. Jamie listens to episodes.
Does she?
It's funny because she comes out and she will start talking to me. And she'll be like, well, this and that. And I'm like, and then all of a sudden I'm like, and she's like, on your episode. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know. It was a 5 week ago conversation.
Right. Yeah. There's so much of it that I don't remember.
Right.
There's one that I edited. I don't remember what episode it was. It was like 2 episodes ago or something. And I went to put it together, and I'm like, I don't remember any of this fucking conversation. Right? I'm like, where was I this day?
Yeah.
I don't know what we talked about in this episode.
Because it's not necessarily structured, but we kind of let's talk about, and I think sometimes we find topics while we're talking, right? And then sometimes we're like, hey, we're going to talk about this, right?
I like how we're doing it.
Yeah.
I like how it's kind of happening organically. I like how we have some topics for episodes that we've gone into, and then all these organic conversations. I think I'm enjoying it. I think it's going well.
Absolutely. And I think it's really cool I'm telling you, I've had numerous people now reach out and just be like, yeah, this is great. I'm really enjoying this. a guy that I know, Sean, fuck, I can't remember his name now. He shared, I told you he shared the whole, like stills of the episode. And I was super thankful, right? I saw it and I was like, oh shit, thanks, dude. That's huge, right? Thank you for sharing that. And then I was like, how do I know this guy?
Right.
Right? Because I've got, over the years of all the different lives, right? Got a
Do you ever go through and clean them out? Clean out that
I don't do
Facebook
that.
list?
No.
I do, man.
Jamie does too. Jamie leads a very curated Facebook social media experience.
I have such this weird, because there's like this interesting thing that got installed in me when I was a cop that suddenly I became like non-existent online. My social media presence. I mean, I didn't have like a social media presence before that, right?
Yeah.
Other than just like everybody's normal Facebook posts of kids and like, silly, goofy stuff. And then when I became a cop, it just all disappeared because it was like, I don't want anything out there in the public eye.
Yeah.
And obviously things are a little bit different today.
Right. I was going to say, I was like, hey, if you look at mine, right, there's a picture of me and my buddy, like Caleb, guy I served with. I have like some just random every 6 month Instagram pictures.
Yeah.
And then I get out of the Marines and I'm like, hey, I'll use this thing. This thing's fun.
Oh, but what was I saying? Because I have this weird gene or something. It's like this weird switch that got flipped back during that time period. And so I'll go in and like curate the Facebook feed. Not curate the feed, but clean out the people.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know who these fucking people are. And even if it's somebody like, there's times when I'm going through this list. And if you're on this list, good luck. I don't know. You might make it, you might not. I don't know. Sometimes the cuts go pretty deep. It kind of depends on the day. There's times when I'm in there and I'm like, I kind of think I met this person at some point.
Do the exact same thing.
I have a vague recollection of like, maybe this person crossed my, I'm done. I don't know who this fucking person is. Get out of my life. Right. And then there's some times where I'm like, 100%, I have no idea who these people are.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm like sitting there racking my brain. I'm like, who in the fuck? Yeah. I think sometimes they just add them. I'm convinced Zuckerberg is just adding people.
Just randomly adding people. Yeah, maybe.
Just to fuck with us.
I know that Facebook used to have a limit before it had following.
Oh, it had 5,000, right?
It was 5,000.
You only have 5,000 friends?
Yeah.
Did you reach it?
No. I don't have that many friends. I just, I think actually what probably happens, I think I get curated out.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, yeah, because
I don't think that's the case.
I have had numerous times where like I will see somebody comment on another thing, and then I'm like, right.
Oh, I thought I was friends with them.
Yeah, I thought, and then I'm like, and I click on it, and there's no friends, and then I'm like, oh, okay,
yes.
Hey, listen, if you don't want to be my Facebook friend, like I don't care, right? And
then I make a mental note so that if I ever see them again.
No, I don't give a shit. I hope it's awkward. Why? I'm not going to bother myself with that.
Just walk right up to him and be like,
oh, yeah,
I noticed that you deleted me from Facebook. And then just stare at him. Just be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's weird.
You took me off of Facebook. That's how I want to do it.
Everybody's like,
from now on,
what the fuck is going on with Craig?
I'm going to start interacting with people in real life like I do on Facebook. I'm just going to walk by people and just be like.
Do not do that.
When somebody does something or says something, I just go, like, I like it. And then I'm just going to be like, heart.
I don't know. Was that a heart?
That's a heart.
That's not a heart. There you go. That's what do you do? You can't make
a heart.
It's like this.
Make a heart.
It's like that. That's a heart.
Listen, I like it. I like it. That's how I'm interacting with life from now on.
Can I hug it?
Just like it.
Anyways.
I'm a thumbs upper.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Brave Men After Dark.
Yeah, it is.
It's brave. We're going right at it.
Yeah.
The hot button topics.
The hot button. What have you really been thinking about today?
Right.
Right. Because it is after dark.
It is.
This is normally.
I know we do record in the morning time.
We record in the morning time.
It's a morning podcast.
It is.
It's a morning show.
That's what, we literally are normally drinking coffee.
You're a night owl, though.
I am. I'm a night owl. I'm also.
How's sleep been going for you?
Yeah. I mean, what's sleep?
Have you ever seen Jiminy Glick?
Jiminy Glick.
It's Martin Short as he plays this character called Jiminy Glick that interviews other celebrities.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah. He's like,
So bad.
yeah.
So you don't sleep. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
What about Penguin? Are you caught up on Penguin?
I am.
All the way caught up?
All the way.
Oh my God.
It was good.
Okay. We're not going to try to pretend like, oh, if you haven't watched this, then make sure that you like tune up. Like, just fucking come for the ride and see what we talk about.
Yeah.
We might spoil the entire fucking series for you,
But
or it might be a really great companion podcast that you can turn on.
It could be.
And listen to while you watch it.
Yeah.
So tune in because we're going to talk about the new Penguin series now.
I mean, we're going to talk about it right now.
You said you're all caught up.
All done. Yep.
I'm so excited for this moment.
Yes.
Because we have been caught up for a while.
You're really the one who turned me on to it. I mean, so I had a few people had mentioned it, notably my friend JT, guy that I work with, right? He had shared, he was like, hey, the Penguin, you got to watch it. I was like, okay. And I was kind of like, okay. And not that I don't trust his taste or anything like that, but he said it, so now it's like actually a thought.
Okay.
Right? Everybody else who said it to me before that, I was like, okay, yeah. I don't care. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, because I didn't like that Batman at all.
At all?
At all. Nope.
No part of it?
Nope. I watched it the one time, and I was like, this is dog shit.
Okay.
Right? I'm not interested in that Batman.
Okay. I liked parts of that Batman.
What part?
Well, first off, I liked the Penguin. He was pretty fucking good.
I'll give you that. I mean,
it was very much a small role.
It was
obviously.
It was. I agree. The Penguin in
He
that
was great in
good.
it. I liked the Batmobile.
No, I still like. I mean, it's. I'm split on Batmobiles.
Okay.
Because I appreciate the George. What's George? Who's after Kilmer? George Clooney.
George Clooney.
So I appreciate the George Clooney Batmobile for the look of the cartoon Batmobile.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Because
you're picking like the worst Batmobiles to talk about.
I know, but
right
those are. But that's like what I remember from the cartoon when I was growing up and stuff. Was that long?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and I was like, that's is somebody who was a car guy, right? I was like, this is a stupid car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's not. No, you can do away with that Batmobile to make that turn.
The Tumbler.
Right? The Tumbler though. The Tumbler.
The Tumbler was.
Have you seen
good.
that they're selling some?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tried to like girl
like you'll
math.
know when I'm rich.
Yeah.
If I'm just
I drive a Tumbler.
Babe, I gotta go down to I gotta run down to the DG real quick.
Yeah.
I gotta go down to the Dollar General, babe. I'm just gonna pull up in the fucking
42-inch fucking swamp. Four.
Right.
42-inch swampers in the
That'd
back.
be so fun.
Yeah, that thing is.
I love it.
It's the best Batmobile.
I think so. That's my favorite.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't remember the Batman that we're talking about. What was it called?
It was it just Batman?
Batman?
It was the guy from Twilight.
We're so stupid right now. We're like, we can't remember the Batman movie. What's it called?
Well, there's been a lot
Batman.
of them. Yeah. That's I think the title of because it was you've got like the other Batmans.
Hold on. It'll come to me.
Because you've got like Batman and Robin, Batman Forever.
Batman.
Right?
That's the name of that Batman movie.
Yep.
I think you're right though.
Yeah.
I think Dark because I was like it's not Dark Knight.
It's not Dark Knight.
I kept wanting to say Asylum something. I don't think it's that either.
No, that's a show.
I liked parts of that movie, but let's get back to Penguin because I really liked Penguin.
I'll tell you what. So I want to start. Let's start with just him.
Yeah,
the Penguin.
Yeah,
right.
Fucking character, man.
Man, so good. So good. I think really played that character in all aspects of the emotional spectrum as that character would play it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right?
He was like
the way even like at the end like ma, right? And like angry and then like but also dismissive and the whole thing.
Yeah, he had his like the psyche of the Penguin down.
Yeah, 100%.
Like the way that every choice he made, every action, like you said, every way that he responded to what was happening to him.
Yeah.
You're like, that's what that guy would like. That's 100% that fucking guy.
Yeah, 100%.
It was so
good.
And
you can watch when there are the times when something happens and you're like, fuck yeah. Right? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, when did you, because there was a couple of times where he just is like, because the majority of the show you're watching it, right? And he starts out as like this lovable character almost, right? Where we kind of have a soft side
I feel
for
like
him.
as the show goes on, his waddle gets less.
You think it's less?
Yeah,
I
so
think
if you watch
worse.
I think if you watch the first couple,
okay,
he's really, and this is my thought, is he's really showing the back and forth. Because it's like the pilot, the first episode, and they're really trying to draw you in. Okay, he's got more of the Penguin vibe.
Okay.
Right? I think by the end, he's still got it, right? But I don't think it's as accentuated.
Okay.
Accentuous.
Hot take here.
Right? Sensuous.
Sensuous. Accentuated. I think, I don't know, I have to go back and watch that and see if I can pick that up. I think like just the arc of him as a character, because he has such a downfall.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking shitty day to be Penguin.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, this motherfucker, you can't kill this motherfucker.
No, right? That's the other part where you want to get on him and you're like, dude is...
Every time he's backed into a corner, I'm like, how's he going to get out of this one? And motherfucker gets out of it.
And part of it is like, I also want to look at the scripting of some of that. And this is me just being a fucking... You're like, just fucking kill him.
Right.
Right? Don't take him back.
Yeah.
What's the end goal? Like, that's me as a utilitarian kind of like player in this. Like, no. Let's use logic, right? We're not going to tell him the master plan before we fucking kill him. Just shoot him in the fucking face. Yeah, I understand that's not a perfect story, right? But I think he does it well.
He does. And it was so, I loved everybody in it. Like, that's the other thing too, right? The entire cast was great.
Yeah.
All the characters. I think I was going to ask you what was one of the moments that got you, because as Stephanie and I were watching it, it was like we just love the guy, and then he like really pushes the boundary of what's lovable.
Yeah. So the first one is when he's at home, when he goes to see his mom, and you see when he's got Vic with him, and he shows up, and you see this whole. Like, he just killed somebody.
Yeah.
In his line and is like, no, I'm going to fucking, like, he's like, we're still under this impression, has he kidnapped this motherfucking guy? Right? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. Vic's along for the ride because he doesn't know what to do.
He doesn't know what the fuck to do. He's just like, he's in shock. He is in a 12-hour-long shock. And all of a sudden the Penguin takes you in and you see this... His soft side, his relation, and it's first it's his mom, and he's like, oh fuck, he's taking, and then you see where she's at, right, with the dementia, and all of a sudden you're like, fuck, dude, because nobody wants that, right, and we like when that's in my opinion, that's the saddest thing. Dementia. To not be yourself, right? It's the saddest thing.
That's what got my grandpa.
Yeah, and I wasting away and any other disease or anything like that happens is really sad too.
Yeah.
But I think dementia it's the undoing of the soul. Yeah. Of the person, as it progresses. And so seeing his mom in that really like hits home for me.
Yeah, that relationship though, like there's, I don't remember what episode it is. It's episode 6 or 7. You're just like, oh my God.
Is that the episode when we find out, like
when you go back, right? It's the episode when you go back and you meet the Penguin when he was a kid
with his brothers,
right? And you're just like, holy cow. Yeah. Some of that stuff was just, it was really, like, I loved the arc of him, like not just as a character, but the fact that they had such good stuff to work with. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like the writing on the show, everything about the show.
Yeah, it was all top tier.
Yeah, it was all so good. And on top of it, like, I mean, it's not even like you forget that it's Colin Farrell. It's not like it's this guy, whoever this fucking guy is.
I forgot that it was Colin Farrell.
Right? That's the whole thing is like, the makeup was so
when I look at the Penguin, I don't see Colin Farrell. Yeah. I see the Penguin.
Yeah. I saw some interview with the gal that plays I don't remember her name, the Falcone chick that God.
so bad at this.
Yeah, I am too. I don't remember her name, but I saw an interview with her and she was like, yeah, I don't, she's like, I didn't really work with Colin Farrell. She's like, I met him a couple of times. Sophia. Yeah.
That's
Sophia Falcone. But then she Giancarlo or something.
Giannati.
Right. Giannati.
I don't know.
Oompa Loompa. I don't remember what it was called.
and
Rigatoni. It was rigatoni.
It wasn't rigatoni because it was the other guys were the starts with an M.
Matzo ball.
No, that's not it. It's not matzo ball. It's definitely not matzo ball. Maroni's.
Yep. Yes.
Yep. Because those were the gangs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the other thing. It was like Steffi identified it immediately. She's like, oh, we're watching The Sopranos. And then I'm like, oh my God, he's Tony Soprano. And then it just became such a fun show to watch. I mean, it was a great show to watch. I never watched Soprano. You don't watch Sopranos?
No.
I mean, you basically did. You just watched
the Penguin version.
Yeah, the Gotham version of The Sopranos.
That's kind of what I like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think The Sopranos happened at a weird time for me, and I just like never got into it. I've seen like a lot of bits of it. Mm-hmm. I have an idea.
You should go back and watch it.
I thought about it.
It holds up.
There's a lot of shows like Sopranos, The Wire.
The Wire holds up.
I never watched The Wire. There's a couple other ones I just can't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a handful of those early like 2000s from the HBO era that were really, really good.
Yeah.
I caught most of them. Did you do Band of Brothers?
I did, but only recently, actually.
Okay.
That was that also was a weird time for me because I had like that came out when I had just joined, I think. And it was coming out, right?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Have we talked about movies in regards to like, because obviously from experience what it's like to be in experiences and then to watch those experiences happen on film.
Yeah.
Have we talked about that?
We haven't talked about it too much. No, we haven't.
Because, I mean, obviously the same thing applies for Copland stuff,
yeah, totally.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Where there's plenty of cop movies out there.
There's definitely the ones that you're like, they did a good job with this.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Is there any you don't watch?
Any cop movies that I don't watch? What do you mean?
Like,
I don't understand the question.
Okay, so there are definitely military movies that I eventually get around to watching them. Some of them take me days to watch. So like when the new movies, when the new like war movie comes out, like I never go to the theater and watch it.
Yeah.
It's been out for 2 years. I buy it. I watch 20 minutes of it. I turn it off. I walk around for a while.
Okay.
Right. Some of them I can dive into and like I will go back and watch. Like Fury. I love Fury.
That's the tank one with Brad,
right?
right?
Tank one.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's a crew. And I love that dynamic.
John Barenthal.
Yeah.
It's got Shia.
Shia.
There's some great Shia clips in there that I love.
And God, what's his name? The Mexican guy.
Yeah, Pena.
Yeah, yes, Pena.
Yeah, he's in my favorite cop movie. The Watch.
The Watch is great.
Yeah.
He's also in the worst movie I've ever watched.
Which is?
Moonfall.
Okay, you keep talking about that.
I'm telling you.
I gotta watch it.
Listen, he did a great job with what he had.
Right?
Right? He might have been the best actor in that whole movie.
He's a good actor. He's
phenomenal.
He's also The Martian, right? He's in The Martian.
He's in The Martian, right? Oh God, he was great in The Martian. Speaking of movies,
he's in Chips.
He is in
another
Chips.
great cop movie.
God, oh yeah, that's it. Listen, I thought it was funny.
It's a good one.
I do like Andy Weir. Hang on a minute, Andy Weir, The Martian.
Okay,
we both love The Martian.
Yes,
right. So Andy Weir wrote that. Also wrote Project Hail Mary. Have you read that?
No.
Okay. Phenomenal, right? If you get a chance, the Audible, great. The book, good. I did the Audible.
Tell me all about it. Like, I'm not going to read it.
No, really?
Because I won't read it.
Are you sure?
I'm not reading right now.
Oh, okay.
Like, by the time I get around to reading, it might be...
Reading.
Right?
By the time I get around to reading.
I feel like I've gone through eras in my life when I'm reading. This is not one of them.
You're not in a reading era?
Yeah, and I don't feel like it's coming anytime soon.
Okay.
So by the time it comes around, I'll probably forget about this. I don't even like audiobooks.
No, fuck off.
There's something weird about my ADD where it's like, I can do podcasts like 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
But put on an Audible, and suddenly I'm like, what is this? I can't listen to this garbage. This is disgusting. What's happening? And if it's
so funny.
If it's not the author reading it, it's even worse.
Really?
Even if I don't even know who the author is. Like,
how would you know?
Right? I just know because
you're just being picky.
No, because then they tell you, author so-and-so, but
narrated.
read by, yeah. So you know, and that alone puts it in my brain, and I'm like, fuck this guy. This is the dumbest thing. It could be the most influential book. What if this book could save my life?
Listen, what if the author just had a really shitty voice?
Sucks to be them. Don't write a fucking book.
Day one of the first page. And you're like, oh my God, burn my ears. I apologize to anybody who sounds like that.
I can't do it. Like if there's a...
Oh man, you're so...
For whatever reason, I can't do the Audible
Why are you
books.
such an Audible snob?
I am. It's very strange.
Very pinkies up for Audible.
What was the question?
Okay, anyways, so this book is phenomenal, and they're making it a fucking movie.
Really?
Like they did with The Martian. And I think it's Ryan Gosling. Who it's
we're in the prime Ryan Gosling era right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be like if I think I don't know who's doing the. I want to say, God, who did Prometheus? Ridley Scott.
Yes, is that who's doing this?
I think so.
Tell me the name of this.
It's Project Hail Mary.
Okay, let's pull this up.
Project Hail Mary movie.
Let's have a. Oh, we played that fun
Wikipedia game. The
I remember that. That was a fun game.
What did I call it? Oh, Wikipedia before. Racing.
I got it.
I teach different teams this. I love it.
2026 film.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is. So it's being directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. So definitely not what you're thinking.
Okay, nope.
Yeah. Bunch of nobodies. Hey, I'm sure you're somebody's. You're obviously
I'm sure they're going to be. Yeah. Listen, if they hit this movie and they do it justice and it's good, it's maybe my favorite story right now.
Really?
I'm telling you, like, I'm excited. When I did the Audible for this Project Hail Mary, Jamie listened to it, and then she was like, listen to this. And I was like, okay. And I was lucky. I had to drive from where we live here in beautiful Tennessee.
Right.
I had to drive to Wisconsin.
So you got to listen to it the whole time.
So I listened to it, and I was like, yeah, this is fucking great, to the point that I was excited to drive home so I could listen to it more.
Nice.
Yeah. It was great.
Well, you might have sold me. We'll see.
Do
you know if Andy Weir reads it? If that son of a bitch doesn't do the Audible?
No, it's not.
Well, I'm not fucking reading it then.
Yeah,
I'm not listening to it. Can't force me to do it.
Pinkies up.
Yes. I'm very particular.
Very particular.
About what I let in my ears. Not just anything comes in these ears.
I was literally about to be. That's exactly where I was going with that.
Hey, it's after dark.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, it's bright men after dark. No, I had a thought.
No?
We were talking about, what were we talking about?
Lots of stuff, bud.
I know, but your favorite, because we were talking about movies.
Books. I'm in my book era.
Podcasts. Yeah, you're in your book era?
I am in my book era.
Yeah. Have you always been a book guy?
No. It's really hard for me to read books.
Yeah, that's the thing I've realized is, like, I don't do well reading them.
Yeah, I grew up, I'm dyslexic. So
I think I am too in some weird ways. Because I notice that I write weird. Like when I write a sentence out, it doesn't make sense. And then I reread it and I'm like, oh, I see how I should have written this, and then I fix it.
So there's different things for that. So one of them is called, I also have, it's called autographia. So it's really hard for the connection from my brain to pen and paper to happen. Sorry.
Is that your autographia flaring up over there?
Yeah. No, it's this head cold I got. But I love learning. So I have really spent a lot of time recently just reading about one of the girls that I work with. She's a super smart. I assume she's super smart. We have not had a ton of conversations.
Okay.
But she shared this whole thing about OKR frameworks, and I was like, oh, okay. And what's this about? Yeah.
Okay, what now?
OKR.
OKR.
Yeah.
Okay. Is this Abbott and Costello bit? What's going on?
No, it's about like business management skills and stuff.
Okay,
yeah. But she was like, "Hey, here's 3 books. If you don't know what I'm talking about, here's 3 books. You can read these. If you're only going to read one of them, read this. If you are going to read all 3, read them in this order, right?" And I was like, "Okay."
Are you legit reading?
No, I'm on the Audible for these.
Okay.
Because I can't read. I don't read as fast.
Yeah.
I can retain the Audible at like 1.3, 1.5.
Do you speed it up?
Oh, yeah.
I can't do that either.
Yeah. But it's great for like time efficiency because I can retain it still, right? But I can go through what would normally be if somebody read it out loud, or if I read it, I put 2x. So if I see hey, this was 7 hours of reading, that's going to take me 14 hours, right? But I can put that at 1.5 and listen to that thing in 4.5 hours.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
I can do that in a flight.
Right.
So I'll crush an entire book on a whole thought process on a flight.
Do you think there's going to come a point in the not too distant future, and by not too distant, I mean like who the fuck knows, right? 7,500 years from now, maybe. I don't know, right? Because time's irrelevant.
Irrelevant?
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
I said it right.
Yeah.
Irrelevant.
Okay.
It's time is the ear of an elephant. And I think there might come a time where we stop reading and stop teaching how to read, because it'll become such a, it'll be like the thing that only our scholars still know how to do in order to maintain the scrolls, because it's just going to become irrelevant. Think about it. Like, it's not to say like, I mean, you watch kids in electronics today, there's not a lot of reading going on. They're not sitting there consuming articles. They're not, they're not doing that.
They're consuming like the video.
Yeah. They're just
so
watching
you think
things.
That the way that we would transfer ideas would just be through like
images
of like moving pictures
exactly
of people sharing that information.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I could see writing going away.
Because it really, if you look at it ancestrally.
Cursive has gone away.
Oh, yeah. No, not 100%. Lincoln's in cursive right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Are they still teaching it?
Dude, he can't. He's like, hey, how do I do this in cursive? I said, fuck if I know, kid. I was like, I only write in all caps. I don't know what to tell you. Like.
Just squiggle.
Yeah.
Squiggle. Just squiggle some shit on the paper.
My signature's not even fucking cursive. It's literally just fucking, but it's my,
What were we talking about? I have to apologize. I should have given you some big caveats at the beginning of this, because clearly I'm interrupty, and I have to apologize for that.
Interrupty?
Because you said something that I really wanted to hear.
Oh.
What was it?
I don't know.
Because writing's going away. Reading's going away.
Reading. So, no, I was saying that ancestrally, we have evolved for the last 200,000 years, all the way up to maybe the last 150. Well, let's say 5,000 years. Written word, right? Let's go 5,000 years.
Okay.
Maybe 10.
75. Let's split it down the middle.
75,000 years.
Let's Shark Tank this motherfucker and split it down the middle.
I'm down with this, right? So 7,500 years, we have had the written word. So I can share a story with you, but I don't have to be here to share that story.
Correct.
You only hear the story in your words.
Yes.
So when you read it, your perception. So when I read a book, I only hear it in the words in my head. But when you read the story to me, right, it's different now because it's you reading the story, and I have this is being passed on all the way up to, so that's what we think of. If you go back to like when we were fucking tribe, Cro-Magnon man, right? We were telling stories about how to do things in person, right?
Yes.
So for 100 and, let's just call it for 200,000 years, we learned by watching someone else and telling us how to do something. And then for the last 7,000 years, we've tried this written word, right? And we've got these different languages, and we've tried all this stuff, and we lose stuff because it's hard. So we're losing written words. But man, if you show me a video of somebody telling me that, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I learned from YouTube, way better.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a fucking mechanic because of YouTube.
Yeah, right. Fixing alternators and shit.
Like I used to have a user manual. We had a Toyota Camry that was like a 98.
Yeah. Did you have a Haynes or a Chilton's?
Yeah. Right. You think I fucking used that thing?
Yeah.
No. Every time I needed to fix something, I'm just fucking YouTubing that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not going back and reading a manual.
I probably have owned 100 of those.
Right.
Because I started working on cars before YouTube.
Yeah, that's the only way you could fix shit back in the day.
I mean, that was you literally bought a car and went and bought one of those.
Exactly. I had an uncle that had all of those.
Yep.
Yeah, he lived right next door, and it was like, yeah, he had all of that stuff.
Yep. I actually had for a while there because my dad was a mechanic. So I had a lot of his service manuals. So he found a bunch of these like original Jeep service manuals. So I got some of those. Those are super cool because it had way more information than like the Shiltons or Haynes did. So that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a good mechanic.
I'm okay. I know how to change. I know how to fix things.
Yeah, but you've got that like smart engineering mechanic brain thing.
I would go with like it's my it's my special power.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it's very much like the more I'm learning about you, I feel like that's the way that your brain works and kind of like sees things and puts things together and whatnot.
Yep.
I think it's really cool.
Yep. That's why I like jujitsu so much.
Right?
It plays
it
right.
makes sense.
It literally, I had to take this test. It was for the VA. The VA made me take a fucking test.
Sons of bitches.
They really did. And I'm not talking about like a STD test or something, but like,
I'd do one of those too.
Yeah, lots of those.
I can tell you about the first one of those that I did.
So
let's put a pin in that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Pun intended.
That's exactly what happened. 100%. I'm like, what? That's what we're doing?
What's 100%?
Turns out I'm going to be doing this test once in my life. That's it.
Really? Only once?
That's it.
Oh, man,
I'm
I think I've done it like 10 times.
Yeah, I'm good. Once was enough for this guy.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
the
veterans. The VA.
So the VA is like, hey, you gotta take this test. Yeah. I was like, all right, fine. And it's a fucking like IQ test. And I was like, all right, like it's asking me all kinds of questions. There's math, all kinds of stuff, and it's for education benefit. So they want to see like, hey, no offense, guy, you took an IQ test. You're not going to be a doctor, right? We're not going to pay for you to be a doctor because it's not going to happen, right? Like. Sorry, but they test you to make sure that you're not like just going out on a fucking whim. And Jamie was sitting next to me, and there's one where they take a 3-dimensional shape and they cut it up on all the edges and they lay it flat, right? So it's one of those like if you fold the piece of paper in the right way, it makes a box or a triangle or whatever, but it's laying flat.
Okay.
And it's like, hey, what shape does this make? And I'm like, boop, 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 boop. And Jamie's like, what? How do you know that's what that is? I was like, what are you talking about? Like, it didn't make sense to me. And it's because it's a different type of intelligence, like the way that our brains process information are just different.
Yeah.
Right? I am a much more 3-dimensional thinker, and I remember things that way. So.
Yeah, I find that fascinating. Like the idea of, I've been on this kick a lot lately too. It kind of plays into the Matrix thing I was talking about earlier, where I'm really fascinated by perception. And I think from now on, I'm just going to start asking people what their perception is of something. So rather than being like, because I can ask you any question, like, what's your perception of a campfire, or what's your perception of, what we just heard or what we just saw or or of the penguin. What's your perception of the penguin, right? We were talking about earlier, because I'm so fascinated by, we can watch the same thing. We can experience the same thing. We will have this experience of recording this podcast together.
Yes.
And we will have completely different experiences.
Yes. Well, we're looking at different things.
Exactly. Because they're based off
You have that chair. I have this chair.
It's not just the fucking physical. It's not the chairs.
Told you I'm a 3-dimensional thinker.
I know.
I'm like, yeah,
That's
I
the
totally
thing I find
agree.
fascinating, is because you and me clearly think differently.
Yes.
But yet it's this weird thing where there's some crossover. But earlier, because you said that's why you like jujitsu so much. And I suddenly clicked in my head how different our jujitsu is.
It's different.
Right? Because like, I hate the structure of jujitsu. I hate I hate all of that stuff.
Because you're fucking water, dude.
I know, but it's so interesting because it's like, for me to sit and break down like I just hate structure. I hate instructions. I hate point A, point B.
Yeah,
you know, I hate going in that direction, that linear fashion of beginning and end. It just drives me insane. And so it very much just has to be like this crazy mashup of.
Are you saying that I'm a very?
Yeah.
This is the process.
Yeah, very much so. You're very much a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 step kind of guy. But and I always get this wrong. And every time I try to not get it wrong, I can't remember it. But what we're talking about, or what I'm talking about, not what you're talking about, but what I'm talking about.
Okay.
What we're talking about right now is the left brain and the right brain.
Yeah.
And I can never remember, because one of them is like the analytical, you know, creative, you know, no, those two things are, see, I always get it wrong. Do you remember which one it is?
No.
Because one of them is like
I
the
took
analytical
that class and I was
brain.
like, cool. It's better to be the firstborn. I see the problems with the others,
right?
You know, like whatever. I remember the class.
I don't remember that class.
That was my like psychology class.
Yeah. But that's
God.
left brain, right brain stuff.
But that's what we talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not information that I keep on hand.
Which side of the brain it is.
Yeah, that's not.
What happens to you when you try to dip into the other side of the brain?
When I try to like go more creative.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It depends. I'll be honest. I'm really good at recognizing creativity and seeing things that are good. But if you're like, hey, make this good, I'm not the best at that. Right? But I'm really good at like tweaking things.
Okay.
Yeah. For like looking at like a painting, right? I tried art once and I was only good at modeling. Like sculptures. That was the only thing I was good at.
Yeah.
They're like, paint this picture. I was like, even my like wine and paint thing where they walk you through, get some blues, do vertical strokes, right? I still suck at that.
Stephanie and I did one of those. When I say one of those, we've only ever done one of those.
Yeah, most people don't do a bunch.
And it was on our honeymoon.
Okay.
So for our honeymoon, we did this really cool thing because we got married in our backyard.
Yep.
And because we had already, I mean, we lived together. We had, we did our, not minimizing
You did the, you did the official stuff.
It was beautiful. It was a great little ceremony in our backyard underneath our willow tree and everything. But for our honeymoon, we rented a car and we got in the car and we used a pendulum to decide what direction to go. And so, do you know what a pendulum is?
Yeah. But don't pendulums just go ding, 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 ding,
Side to side?
Yeah.
No, they go in all directions. So we hold the pendulum and then you ask, and we would just ask, which way should we go? And whichever way so if it swung north, we went north. South, south, east, west, so on and so forth.
But you had to have moved it, right?
No, you just hold it. You just hold the pendulum still, and it will move. Steph's got them. I'll show you. Don't look at me like I'm crazy. I really love that you're like all your analytical left or right brain, whichever one it is. I can't remember now, but so we used a pendulum.
Okay.
And it was
cool.
So cool because it was just like, okay, we're going to drive west now.
Yeah.
And we would drive west, and it wasn't like at every single turn, but it was basically we got a direction. So suddenly now we're going south on I-15, right?
Yeah.
And then eventually we get to a spot and we're like, well, let's check in and see because we're coming up. And so, okay, now we're going west on I-74 or whatever. But we ended up in Colorado.
You just didn't randomly make a square.
Right. It's like, well, it turns out
like, thanks, fate.
we're down the street from our house. This has been great. Fuck this pendulum.
Golden Corral. Craig's over here like, no, we're just going left, bro. Hard left right here to the Golden Corral.
But we ended up in Colorado City. What was really funny is by day 2, I think, because we spent the first night in Grand Junction.
I love Grand Junction.
Yeah. It's not bad.
I like the Grand Junction. What's the next? So when you leave Grand Junction, you go into Utah. That valley through there.
It's beautiful.
It's my favorite. I can't remember what it's called. Valley of Fire. No, that's not. That's in Vegas or Nevada.
I don't remember what it's called either.
But that is
Escalante or something
like that. Whatever it is, that is hands down my favorite stretch of U.S. road, and I have been on most of it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's
a great stretch. We've driven it numerous times.
Yeah, same. I've done it on a motorcycle, and so we timed it. Motorcycle at sunset. We were going west or going east, so we did it with the sun at our backs. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? Just wonderful. We totally fucked it up a little bit. We got to Grand Junction fucking cold.
Oh, I bet.
Right? Because it was not warm. That was my time I almost killed myself. I tried to freeze myself off a motorcycle and almost died.
Dumber.
100%. Was at the base. We left Utah through Grand Junction and we were going to Denver. And it's like up over that last bit.
Yeah. The fucking Rocky Mountains.
The fucking Rocky Mountains.
Just that last little bit.
I'm on my Harley.
You mean like 10,000 in elevation?
Yeah, right. And I'm on my bike and we're low, right? And it's like, hey, and it's kind of nice. It's like June. Yeah, it's end of May, early June, right? And I'm on my bike.
As soon as that fucking sun's gone, yeah.
And all of a sudden I was like, no, and I have a t-shirt on. I was like, this is fine. And I'm just going. And my buddy had already stopped and put a fucking jacket on. And we're going up this mountain and like 30 minutes go by and I'm like, damn, I'm fucking cold, man. And I start laying down on my like gas tank and I'm on a Harley.
Yeah.
Right. With a full windscreen. And so I start hiding behind this. At one point, my buddy, Chris Wallace, who does this trip with me, he pulls up next to me and starts laughing at me because I am trying to hug the engine of my motorcycle to warm myself up. Snot is all just rushing back across my face. My face is red from being so fucking cold. I can't feel my arms. And I am literally in pain. And we get to some point, and I finally was like, I can't do it anymore. And I just fucking lean to the right. There's an exit, and I get off, and I pull into a gas station that had a Qdoba. And I walked over to just give me a bucket of soup. And I just literally held it.
Yeah.
And he left. He didn't see me make and I was like, I can't even operate my phone. Like, he'll figure it out. I didn't make it, right? And he came back and he's like, what's up? I was like, I wasn't going to make it. I put my jacket on. Next 10 miles, we were in downtown Denver, and I had to stop and take my jacket off because it was so fucking hot.
Those are the mountains, man.
Yep. I never did that mistake again.
Yeah, that's a beautiful part of the country.
Yeah.
And we ended up...
Sorry, so yeah, I interrupted you.
Well, we ended up on the second night, we were down by like Durango, like down in the southern...
Yeah.
Western part of Colorado.
Durango.
And we kept kind of relying upon this pendulum. And then finally we were like, we got to sleep. Where's the next place that we can lay our heads down? And it was the part of the state where it's
pendulum's taking you further and further.
It's just driving us out into the fucking desert. Like, enjoy your fucking honeymoon.
The pendulum's trying to fucking off you, man. The pendulum is over here
taking us for a one-way.
Oh.
But we ended up, I don't even know what town it was because it was just like a one stoplight, out in the middle of nowhere. And we stayed in a little shitty, like terrible, seedy motel just to get off the road.
Yeah.
And then the next day we like pull up the map. We're like, okay, we're going to Colorado City. That's like the next big stop.
Yeah.
And we spent a couple of days there and we went and did a paint night.
That's cool.
And we've still got those paintings hanging up in our room. Yeah, it was fun.
That's cool.
It was a drunk paint night because we had this experience at this little crummy hotel in whatever town.
You guys decided to get a little...
Oh, we got a fucking suite. And it was like the penthouse. It was so freaking nice.
In a shitty little...
No, when we got to Colorado City.
Okay. Yeah, because you were
stayed in this really nice... I don't even know the name of the hotel. But it was like the nicest place in the town. And it was awesome. And biggest bed in the world. It had it was just incredible.
Like an Alaskan king.
Oh, yeah. It was so nice. And it was downtown, so we got to go and just walk down the street. And we went bar hopping and had margaritas at every bar we went to and ended the night at some paint night. It was cool.
That's awesome.
And then just like slept the next day until 4 o'clock because we were so fucking hungover. It was terrible.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Jamie and I didn't really do a honeymoon.
Didn't you?
No. We went to a hotel that night and That was it. But like, we had a 1-year-old.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to work out for us.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a little bit harder with kids.
And yeah.
At least young kids, right? We have kids too, but
Yeah.
just fucking
So
left them in the car.
we never really got to do a honeymoon, but we totally joke about that we're going to do like a 10-year vow renewal.
Yeah.
Right? Because we did a really small wedding and like we just kind of want to party.
Yeah.
So like, hey, everybody, let's hang out, put on like a nice shirt. And
Stephani's next year. Stephani's is our 10-year.
Nice.
Yeah.
We just want to pause real quick and thank you for tuning in and listening to Brave Men Dare. We'd like to ask you to do 3 simple things for us. First and foremost, just subscribe wherever you're listening, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of the other places you can find podcasts. By subscribing, you're going to help the podcast reach more people. Also, feel free to rate the show. Give us 5 stars if you're enjoying it. And last but not least, send an episode to a friend. All of these things are going to help the podcast reach more people and help us continue to bring you episodes week after week. Be sure to come follow us on social media as well. You can find us everywhere by searching Brave Men Dare. Now let's get back to the episode.
We have this plan. I'm hoping to be able to see it to fruition, but we want to do 10 trips to celebrate.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's the goal.
What kind of trips?
You name it.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of our greatest hits that we want to. We have a yurt that we used to stay at, and we don't have it.
Oh,
we claimed it as
you've
ours.
got a yurt,
right? And it's in Colorado.
Yeah.
It's outside of Grand Junction. There's this beautiful, that picture that you see coming in down the hallway of the mountains?
Yeah.
That's the place where the yurt's at.
Okay.
It's in this beautiful valley in Colorado. It's the Uniweep Valley. And it was an Airbnb, and we did it once for our anniversary and fell in love with it because it was just this yurt on the side of a fucking hill in the middle of the mountains. Super nice, very secluded. It had power, it had water, it had a wood burning stove, and just spent the weekend there. It was amazing. So much fun. There was all of this rock on the side of the cliff. Actually, here's some right here. This big hunk of white right here.
Oh, look at that. You got some rock.
There. Yeah.
Some rocks.
Quite a few rocks here, huh? But this chunk, we've got this kind of stuff
so
all
you
over
stole
the house.
this?
We did.
I think that's actually
from the Uniweep Valley.
a big old piece of granite.
Isn't that beautiful?
It's super nice. This looks like you might have killed somebody with
Right?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
This would kill somebody.
It would totally kill somebody.
Totally kill somebody.
It probably has killed somebody.
It could have.
Maybe.
And look at you, hold on to it.
But we brought back tons of this stuff because as soon as we started finding all of these little chunks of stuff.
The state of Utah is actually looking for you now.
I know. That's why we had to flee.
Yeah.
Luckily, this was from Colorado, though.
Oh, Colorado.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about it. But we brought back a bunch of that stuff, so much so that it was unreal how much, because there was so much of these. We've got another big chunk out front. I'll show you when we're done.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like rocks.
I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, so our yurt's there.
Yeah.
And so we want to do that as part of our trip.
Okay.
Go back there and stay. He doesn't have a yurt anymore, though. The guy that owns the Airbnb.
Yeah.
I guess the guy who owns the yurt, right? Fancy pants, that's his actual fucking property, whatever. He's just reserving it for us until we can buy it off of him. But he's got he built one of those new, like, super nice A-frame, fancy ones. Yeah. And so that's what the Airbnb is there now. So we want to go back there and stay in that.
That'd be cool.
And spend a weekend there. I want to go do Yellowstone really bad with her again, because we've done Yellowstone with the kids and it's really, really fun. But like my Yellowstone journey or my experience in Yellowstone, it's like this magical place for me that I've been so many different times in my life.
What were the years that you were in Yellowstone?
It was like when I say it was our go-to family vacation growing up, I probably went there.
Are we talking 90s?
Yeah.
2000s?
80s and 90s.
80s and 90s. Okay.
Yeah. So probably from like 85 to 93.
Okay.
I probably went to Yellowstone 4 times or something like that, right?
Any chance you were in Yellowstone in 2007?
Probably. There's a good chance. I don't know. Fucking been there so many times. Taken all versions of my family there. So like early on.
Yeah. It's a solid spot for you.
Yeah. Been there tons.
Tons.
And the last time that we went, actually the very last time that I went. So we had a big family vacation there when we took all of our kids, and it was awesome. Like we did the rafting thing down the Yellowstone River, and we stayed in these cabins that are just outside the northeast gate. And so they put you inside the park the quickest and earliest, and it's the area of the park where all the big animals are. So it's where all the wolves are. It's where all the bears are. It's called the Lamar Valley. So it's just this beautiful area of Yellowstone. It's on a completely different side than like where Old Faithful is and all the volcanic stuff and everything like that, right? And that's my favorite part. It's so beautiful there. So we stay there and we have this really great trip. But the last time that I went to Yellowstone was with actually the guys that I did that men's group with back in Utah. So we had a good group of guys that we met in that for like, what was it? I think I did that group for like 4 years. It was like 2017, I think is when it started. And then all the way through until like 2021, because we held on to it through COVID, you know, having to do the remote shit. And then we did a couple more in-person stuffs before it kind of fell apart. But that was the last time I was in Yellowstone, was with those group of guys. And it was an amazing trip. It was so fucking cool. It was like 5 of us. We stayed in a cabin and we did mushrooms one night. It was so fucking awesome, dude.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was a great time around a campfire.
Yeah, I bet.
Like we got back to the cabin and just, you know, it was like, it wasn't dark, it wasn't late. It was early enough that we could like go for a nice little walk around. Because these cabins are, you know, right off the river, and it's really, really, it's not remote or anything, but it's just a nice little like idealistic kind of small little town, right? 1 lane road running through town. And so we got food done and everything, and then just took some mushrooms and enjoyed the rest of the evening. And it was beautiful.
You're like, well, this was wonderful, gentlemen. You guys just want to go ahead. Let's dine on some shrooms.
Exactly.
And, you know, just see where the night takes us. Play a little game.
It was so wonderful.
Who's in my mouth?
Yeah. No. It was such a magical experience.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to knock it. I just say dumb things, but I think that would be super fun.
It was awesome.
I mean, I don't know if I would. Yeah, probably. But I think that's super fun.
It was a good time.
That's what was somebody like Jamie? So we went to breakfast this morning, and it was super cute. We went down to Cleveland. There's the golden, it's golden broken yolk or golden yolk or some egg yolk.
Golden goose.
Golden goose.
Yes.
Right. The golden goose. But we went to this restaurant and there was a group it was 6 ladies sitting at a table all chit-chatting and 6 husbands all sitting at a table. And they all showed up as couples.
Oh, nice.
And like the ladies had their ladies' breakfast and the gentlemen had the gentlemen's breakfast.
Nice.
And they occasionally they'd look over and say something and they'd all sit, and then they'd go back to separate tables. It was super cool. I was like, that looks fun.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We'd totally be down for that. That'd be a good setup.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I like breakfast. I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah, we want to do some other parts. Like we have.
Is it all camping?
No. As far as like the trips that we want to do. Yeah.
Anything international?
Yeah, we really want to go international.
Where do you
want to
go
to Europe?
Okay.
Like if we could really plan the peak trip, right? The pinnacle of the 10. It would probably be like Europe or a week in Hawaii or something like that.
Okay.
And so our goal is to do some of these other, smaller ones. Some of them will just be like a weekend trip or something like that somewhere. Mm-hmm. But ideally we'll have some big trip that, we're going somewhere. But I'd love to go to Europe. I would love to go and take Stephanie to Italy and all these kind of different random places and stuff. So
that'd be cool.
It'd be way cool. Have you ever been over to Europe?
I have. Not as much. Jamie's got a ton of experience over there. She lived there for a while. Mm-hmm. But I've definitely been to a few countries, in and out of Ireland. Spent a couple days in Germany.
Was this just all for
military stuff? Yeah.
What about just personal time? Have you ever vacationed or gone anywhere?
No. What are vacations?
Right.
Yeah. No. Most of my travel, international. I mean, some of it was cool. Like I was on a ship for a while, and we got to go check out Asia, and so like got to go to like Singapore, and got to go to Thailand and Malaysia, and got to go to Japan. We got to go to some other places that sucked. Like we went to Bangladesh after I want to say it was a tsunami, and did some like aid, right? And it was terrible. It was like
Probably a tough time to be there.
so bad. Totally, and this is terrible, but a funny story. Totally might have killed a family of 5. Don't know.
Yeah, that's a terrible story.
Yeah. We, I don't think so. But there was, and I'm making this up. There's no evidence.
Okay.
There was an observation. Then I was like, ooh, I'm not really sure how that, but we're not here anymore. So we land in this field, and these guys, we had a bunch of, we were taking a bunch of rice. So we were loading a bunch of rice up where we were at, and we were going to go take it to this village that was inaccessible. Really cool, right? Yeah. It's 15,000 pounds of rice, right? And there's 100 guys that run this thing on real fast, and they stack up the back of the helicopter all this rice, and we go to take off. Well, the helicopter is much heavier now, and it takes a lot more force for the helicopter to lift off. And I'm sitting in the right window, and as we're like pulling power, and they're like, hey, checking temps, like no big deal, I'm looking, everything's fine. I look over, and as the helicopter's trying to take off, a big like 55-gallon drum like falls, and you see this thing's got weight, like it boom, doesn't bounce or anything, like boom, and it lands on its side, and it starts rolling, and it starts going, and we're pulling power, and we're getting a little higher, and this barrel is now moving.
Oh no.
And I was like, and I'm like, there it goes, right? Because I'm just, it happened in 1.2 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. But it was like, there it goes. And as I was like, there it goes, it fucking drove through a shed that could have been someone's house with destructive force that I was in. And then we like just turned left, and I was like, I'm not 100% sure what happened right there. But God, I hope no one was in that house or in that hut.
Right. It was a tool shed.
Oh, I hope so. I also got to watch the police cane people, which was super interesting. Yeah.
Brave Men After Dark.
Dude, I'm just, like
This was
straight up
Bangladesh?
Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Like the uniformed officers. And it was crowd control, right? Like nobody was, I'm not saying that the officers were in the wrong, right? That there had just been a massive tsunami.
Yeah.
And it affected a lot of the people in Bangladesh. And we had supplies that we were taking other places, and people were looking for those supplies. So there's a lot of people at like the edge that are trying to get in to get some of the supplies that we have. And there's forces, national forces, that are holding them out. Like, no, this is an active, like, there's a helicopter flying right here, right? From not our military. So, but somebody would like get through, and they'd like, and they like fucking cane these people. And you're like,
There was a show on Netflix called RRR. It was, like Bollywood, the film industry in India. Yeah. It's this action movie that is from over there, and it's called RRR. Okay. And the only reason it's reminding me of that is because there's a scene where they
cane somebody.
Yeah, they're caning some people, and but yeah, you should watch that show.
Yeah,
it's right up your alley.
Yeah, so
I'll send it to you.
Got to see some cool places there. Went to a place called Djibouti, which is in the Horn of Africa. Okay. If you look it up on Wikipedia, I'm fairly confident the title is worst place in the world. Really? It's the asshole of Africa.
What's so bad about it?
There's no natural resources. It's literally just a rocky area. Like there's no industry. There's no nothing. Local population, 10,000 people maybe, right? Most people just somehow making it, right? And the U.S. has a base there.
Of course.
Right? and we have flown around and got to hang out in this space, which the base pretty much, I think, is what fuels the fucking country. It's the size of Rhode Island.
Oh, wow.
And it's
Bases?
a country. Yeah, no, the fucking country. Like, it's tiny. I don't know if that's all true. It's real fucking small, though.
I really don't think by this point people are fact checking or basing what they hear.
I'm pretty confident.
Maybe.
It's classified. Didn't you clip one of those in?
I don't remember.
I think you did. It's one of our social media things.
Yeah.
You like clipped in the Obama. I love that. Like, maybe. I don't know. It's classified. Right? I love that clip. Obama, I'll tell you what, he was a funny dude. I'm serious.
I don't remember the clip you're talking
No?
about. No.
Oh, God, I'll have to show it to you. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
I'll have to go look at it and see.
I thought Obama was hilarious. He said funny stuff all the time.
Yeah.
He was a comedian.
They're all comedians.
They really are. But I don't want to talk about that stuff.
You don't want to talk about politics?
I don't want to talk about politics.
Yeah, I don't think we're a political podcast.
Nope. I don't want to talk about that. I do think that the campfire is super fun. In fact, so one of my goals is I want to get my family into camping.
Okay.
Right? Like I want to get a camper just because I have to meet my wife halfway.
Yeah.
Right? My wife is not going to lay on the ground, which is totally fine. I respect her for her stance.
I was going to say you guys don't have one. I thought you had one, but that one that
We were renting it, yeah.
that one, yeah.
But I really want to get one. And I don't even I don't have to have fancy. But I want it to become a family thing that we do. Even if we only do it for like a year and then we sell it because it was like, this was fucking terrible.
Have you guys been camping at all?
Well, I think we've gone like 6 times now.
Okay.
All in rented campers.
Okay.
Right?
Kids are still getting the experience though.
Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah. But because of the cost of it, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're going to rent a camper and you're only going to do it once in the summer, like then it's totally worth it to just rent it.
Mm-hmm.
If your goal is to do it like 10 times in the summer, like, hey, every other weekend we're going camping, you're really making like a big deal about spending that time together, then it's much more, it makes more sense financially to buy it, right? But I really want to buy one.
Yeah. They're like the hot tub thing, right? You're going to use it every weekend. Every weekend we're going to be out camping.
Fine. Listen, I would appreciate the experience to do that with my family. And so if we bought a fucking new, used, whatever fucking camper, we used it every weekend, every other weekend for a fucking year. And I'm talking like early into the season, late into the season, get to go see the world a little bit, or even I really want to do the cross country, hit all the national parks for the summer, like when the kids are off, right? Hey, we're going to go do this. We can work remote or whatever the fuck, right? Hey, I'm visiting customers. Leave me alone, right? Yeah. Whatever it is. But that's an experience that if I bought a camper and had to sell it 2 years later and I lost 10 grand on it, that experience would be worth it.
Totally,
I would take the loss.
Do the kids like it?
Yeah, the kids like it. The kids really like that we get to go to all these places that have playgrounds and pools and fucking fun stuff. They also love, they love the very connected time, right? Like on a normal weekend, we have the kids' stuff and our stuff. Like there's going to be a birthday party. There's going to be a family thing. There's going to be hey, you're going to work out at this time. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
You're going to, all right, you got CrossFit. I got jiu-jitsu. What are we doing for dinner? Hey, we're hanging out with so-and-so. Like, okay. But if you're camping, it's just you.
Yeah, man.
Right? It's your fucking fired. Well, what'd you call your team? Your fucking...
My team?
You had talked about when you and your family would like go places.
Oh, yeah. The SEAL Team 6.
Yeah, your SEAL Team 6, right? Yeah, it's my fire team.
Yeah.
Right? That's who they are. They're my fucking fire team.
What is your version of camping growing up? And have you experienced that with your kids?
So...
Because did you do trailers and stuff like that when you were growing up?
I actually, this is super fun. I got to be the kid who grew up in both.
Okay.
My parents, like my dad took me camping and we slept on the fucking ground, right? It was a shitty 3-point, like lean-to fucking tent, and we ate out of warmed up cans.
Yeah.
Right? We went fishing, and that was camping.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? My mom's dad's sister, my Aunt Jan, she was my great aunt, and her husband, Uncle Douchebag, had a camper, and I was their favorite, and I was Aunt Jan's favorite, so I would spend a lot of time with Aunt Jan. It also helped my mom because she had twin girls, right, and just herself, so it was easy. Hey, pawn Ben off, right? Not saying that's what she did, a little bit, and but I'll go hang out with them. But they had a camper, so I got to go to campgrounds. I've been to all the state parks in Michigan, like camping.
A lot of summer vacation kind of stuff.
A lot of like, hey, we're going to do this big trip into Canada and all this, right? And I got to do a lot of that stuff in a relatively nice camper. They didn't have any real kids. Like they had dogs and campers.
Okay.
So I got to do that. And then I got to sleep on the fucking ground with my dad. I've also slept my head on the dirt enough in my life, I believe. So I'm good with the camper.
Right. Check that box.
Yeah. I want to be comfortable and enjoy very connected family time.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And I think it's also like, I don't think it's bad that if you're camping all weekend or every weekend or every other weekend for a summer, and as a family we decide we're just going to fucking sit down and watch a movie in our camper, like that's totally fine.
Oh yeah.
Right? Because we do that at home. Right? So, and I also like to eat, try to stay healthier with how we eat, especially when we're camping, because we're going to be, eating fucking cookies anyways and drinking and having a good time. Right? A little day drinking. Right?
It's the best.
That's the best. We're going to hang out in the water. Right?
Yes.
Dude, the video from this summer.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to, I know you've shared it with me, but I have to find it. I think I saved it. But I really got, it's my favorite video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really fun
I have
to do.
saved it because I've shown it to people.
Yeah, yeah. It was really fun to do.
It was so cool.
Yeah, I had a good time with it.
It's going to be one of those things that like, I'm going to play at his fucking wedding.
Right?
Yeah.
It was such a cool experience. Like even just because what we're referring to, it's funny because obviously you and I know what we're talking about, but
Totally.
we went on vacation this summer and I took my GoPro with me and just had so much fun recording a bunch of different footage, right? And let the kids play with it and they took it around, running around with it and stuff. And it was really fun to go back and watch the footage afterwards. And when we were there too, because I was also filming some of, not just handing it off and letting kids film it, but I was filming stuff with it as well. And watching that, because what you're talking about, I put together this little piece of content of you and your boy jumping off this rock.
Yep. And it was a journey.
Yes, totally. And it was so cool. It was just so fun to put together.
Yeah.
But it was even cooler to get to experience and be there with you guys and just get to hang out. And it was such a good time to get to kind of watch and experience. And it was really, really beautiful to witness it happen. And then also to kind of put it together in this fun little content and montage and everything like that. Cause it's a really beautiful, father-son moment.
Yeah. It's maybe one of my favorite memories.
Yeah.
Other than the initial holding my son and thinking he looked like an alien. And there's definitely been a few times where me and him have just hanging out, seeing him do something or whatever. And that experience was probably one of my favorites.
That's awesome, dude.
It's super cool just watching him grow in that, right?
Yeah.
It's just, and that's what I really want to, if my kids grow up not to be afraid of things, right? Solid.
Even if because I was thinking about that experience for him and the progression of Like, that's the coolest summer vacation ever.
Right.
Like, you remember where there was that big rock?
Oh, yeah.
Because in his brain, I mean, that was a big rock.
It was. I mean,
you
it
know,
was.
You're not
it
jumping
was,
off of a cliff or anything.
It was, I would say, like, just as for the listeners, it was as high out of the water as he is tall.
Totally.
At least.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's a nice little 6 to 7 foot jump down into the water.
Yeah.
From the top of the rock.
Is it that far?
It's probably 5 or 6 feet.
I think it's like, yeah, I think you're right. I think it is like 5 or 6 feet.
Yeah, which is just tall enough, and the water's moving, and it's slippery.
And you can't see what's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
You're balanced.
Right.
You're because it's like a fin rock, and you're stepping up here, jumping into the water.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing.
It's not.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean,
It's the first time we did it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we were both like, can we do this? Can we do this?
It was definitely a little sketchy.
I think you jumped first.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, there's room.
We'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just jump that way.
Yeah, yeah.
And but to get to see him do it and to watch him and his nerves and his fear and his anxiety, and then eventually,
Do you think could we play it on the? Could we add it to this?
We could probably add it to it, or we could put it in. Yeah, we'll just share it on. We'll just put it in. We'll just share it on social.
I can do that.
And so when the episode comes out, we'll throw it up.
There we go.
And in reference to this episode, and then people can watch it.
There you go. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So if you go to bravemendare on any of our socials, on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or wherever, you can follow the podcast. It'll be there.
You should follow the podcast.
Totally.
Totally should.
That was cool, dude.
Yeah.
That was a neat experience.
It was. I think. Yeah, I'm really glad that you were there for that. Not just to like help with the recording and all that, right? But I think it was really cool to have another dad around, right?
Yeah.
Because I felt like as we were doing it, I was like, this is a special fucking moment.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I feel like if no one else was around, like it still would have been super special. But now I can look at somebody and be like, right? Wasn't that fucking cool? Right?
Yeah, it was. It was a really cool thing to watch. And it ended up turning out, like, that's the other thing too, especially with the GoPro. You're like, hey, let's fucking hope that this footage is something, right?
Yeah.
Other than just people's, especially when there's water involved.
Had we started talking about podcasting?
No, because this was like in June or something.
It was.
When we went.
I think we had talked about content.
I don't even think we had.
No? Had you done the video for the gym?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. You just had it.
No, well, we took it to record stuff for our stuff, for Steph and Craig.
That's what it was.
Yeah, so we were recording.
I think I was
a lot
asking you questions about content.
Probably. I mean, I was recording a lot of it.
I like to learn more about how content works, and I actually just got another book.
Did you?
I got a lot of books. I
got a lot of books.
I got a lot of books. It's Gary Vaynerchuk.
I love Gary.
So it's Gary V's new book.
It's his newest one?
Like Brand and Attention or Buying Attention. I've only read literally the first page, and I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah, I love Gary.
Yeah.
He's got great stuff.
Yeah. I really I'm going to read that. So I bought that book.
Oh, did you?
So I'm going to read that as I blast my way through the OKR framework.
Yeah.
In its objective.
I've been thinking a lot about you and me and how we're going to continually shape and mold each other. And mold might be, I don't think of that as like a negative thing. It's not but we're influenced by each other, right?
Inspired. So.
Exactly. But it's even just like.
Maybe brought down a tick or two.
No, but it's like, friends, you start to, when you open up to friendship and when you open up to people, there's an aspect of it where you're letting them in.
Yeah.
And that process, I think, what comes along with it is the acknowledgement that this is going to shape and mold at least me during this time frame. Like there's a part of it that, I'm influenced by you.
100%.
And I've been thinking about how we are influencing each other, but also how we're going to continue to do so.
What's a low-key prediction for how we will influence each other?
One of the things that I'm trying to do, because I recognize that this is also something that I will do too often, is where I'll try to figure it all out before it happens, because then that way I'm not scared. But if I just let it happen, then oftentimes,
it's better.
It's way better, because then I'm not keeping it confined into some structure that I thought it was.
Is it you
going
telling
to
me that you're not going to give me a low-key prediction?
Well, I don't really have like a specific, like a prediction.
I'm going to get you to read.
You're going to get me to
I'm
read.
going to get you to
Good
read
luck.
a little bit.
Good luck. No, I think one of the things that I hope happens is it's kind of I hope that over time, your ability to open up and navigate more of your heart and being able to feel your heart and open your heart. And, yeah, I just hope that not starts to, because I think you have a really big heart, and, it's truthfully a really beautiful thing about you. But I think that it's probably the thing that you maybe see the least. I don't know. Like I hope that you get to see more of who you are through the lens of how other people see you, rather than how you see yourself. Does that make sense?
A little bit.
I don't know how in the fuck that's going to happen from us.
I mean, listen, you got my wife talking to me more about going to therapy.
Did you?
You did.
She?
Yes, she did. Yeah.
Good.
So that's been 4 fights. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No.
Happy I could help.
Yeah. Listen, I'm just no. It's it actually worked out. I've been struggling with my hearing, right? So I was like, hey, I'm going to book an appointment finally. Like it's becoming really hard, especially in just certain settings. So even if it's something I don't wear all the time, but when I'm out, I need these.
Yeah.
Like if we go to a restaurant, like I can't hear what anybody's talking about. But so I was like, well, I'll do these. And then it worked out. She's like, hey, you should do these through the VA. You'll get better ones. I was like, oh, okay. Which is funny that the VA, you would get better ones. But thanks, VA. While I was doing that, I was like, oh, well, I'll get enrolled here at the local VA because I haven't been with the VA health system in a while. And the last time I had a therapist who died. So I haven't talked to them again.
Right.
So I was like, oh, I'll get locally, and they have therapy locally. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll go talk to somebody.
You gonna pull the trigger?
I mean, I'm working towards it. All right, it's a process. Why don't you fucking slow down, Craig?
It is a process.
Right? Just give me a fucking minute, Craig. No,
you get all the time. All the time. There's no rush.
So, but I think, I would like to maybe have an appointment scheduled before the new year. I would like to have an appointment scheduled. Right, if it's into the new year, that's fine. But
right. Yeah, we're coming into the time of year where shit's just like,
it's hard to get shit done now, right? In the fucking holidays. Ugh.
Yeah.
No.
It's the case, man.
Yeah.
Where it's like I'm starting to look at the calendar and be like, let's just think about next year.
Yeah.
Let's just think about what's going to happen next year.
So I think I think it's good. I mean, there's a positive thing right there, right? Like January of 2024, Ben, would have not said that November of 2024, Ben, would be looking to go back to therapy.
Really?
Yeah.
That January, Ben wouldn't have guessed that?
No.
That was going to be on your bingo card?
No, it was not going to be on the bingo card.
Interesting.
Why put it on the bingo card?
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So so we'll check that out. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Right?
That'll be exciting.
I also hope to get you up at 4:30 in the morning.
I know. Because as I sit and think about, how we're going to shape and influence each other, initially my thought was, it'll be great because I can help Ben, and help isn't the right word, but it's
You can call it help. I like help.
Help is great.
I'd call it help. Help.
Emotionally, right? Tap
Yeah.
into emotions more, feel safer to
fuck
express
those
emotions and feel emotions and everything. And then you're going to help me physically because you're more, I don't even
Attractive.
Well, I'm just struggling to come up with the right word here.
As I say to the guy with a full head of hair, I'm just like, hey man,
but
Paul's
that's what I
beautiful.
thought initially it was like, oh,
I was going to
cool.
help you with your you're doing 75 yoga.
Right? 75 yoga, which is
There you go.
way different than 75 hard. I think part of the problem I have been is, oh shit, I left that light on the whole time. It's Brave Men After Dark and we forgot to turn the light off.
It is a little bright.
That's okay. It's totally.
It's the fire.
That's right.
It's the fire that brightened everything up a little bit.
That's why the lighting's different on this episode because of the fire.
Yep.
You know, I worked really hard on this
You
fucking
did.
fire too.
Yeah, listen, that
I don't
thing's
know
been
if you've
burning
noticed, but
all night long.
right? That's some magical fucking wood
It
I
is.
used
It is.
because it looks the same from when I started it 2 hours
And there's a
ago.
bird that randomly comes across. It's great. If you give it just a minute, I wonder if that bird will come through.
Right?
Oh, I saw the one bird.
It's a live stream.
Yeah. Right. This is in my backyard right
Exactly.
now. Yeah. That's talking about fires, right? Like I
Yeah.
have a fire pit next to my house, and it literally looked like that, right? For the last 3 years,
Yes.
right? And to the point that I have had to take the wood off to weed whack the weeds that have grown through the fire pit now, put the logs back, and then I was like 2 months ago, I was like, I had some scrap wood I had to burn anyways. So like, well, we'll just go burn all this shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I didn't even do it as like a campfire.
Yeah, you got to do it as a campfire, man.
I know.
We're trying to I'm building one out in the backyard there
That's cool.
in the corner. I put it.
Are you going to do like over the winter time in the campfire?
I like the wintertime
I
campfire.
like the wintertime campfire.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a good time. Every time, like I said, there's not a bad time hanging out around a campfire.
No, I mean, unless it's really fucking hot out. If it's 130 and there's a fire.
Yeah, who
like, I
needs
don't
a
wanna
fire
sit-
when it's
yeah,
that hot,
just
right?
put a flashlight on the ground. Who the fuck
Exactly.
cares?
We don't need flame at that point.
No. Yeah, I'm not using it for heat.
Well, dude, I am very grateful
I'm tired.
that we record these the majority of the time in the morning.
Right? You go to bed early.
I'm a very early guy.
Yeah, you go to
Yeah,
bed. You get a lot of sleep.
I do get a lot of sleep. That's the other thing I was going to tell you.
You got to talk about my sleep.
I don't know if I do want to help you sleep
No,
more.
I don't want to sleep more.
Yeah, you do. You got to sleep more, dude. We want to have you around for a long time. And the more
What
you
were we
sleep.
going to talk about?
Okay. Peacetime friends and wartime friends.
Oh, yeah.
Have I ever talked to you about that before?
No, but
Have
that's
you ever heard me say that
a
before?
totally a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And I had a good buddy of mine. He's actually my yoga teacher, one of our yoga teachers. And I was talking to him because I have this like relationships with men are always challenging for me, and they always have been. I always just kind of struggle with them. And he talked to me about him at one point, and that's the framework that he, framed everything around, where it was like, you very much had wartime friends,
Yep.
and now you need peacetime friends because you're not at war anymore,
Yeah.
right? And they're very different kind of friendships
Mm-hmm.
and relationships that get formed during different time periods. And so just that concept of like, I was thinking about that the other day in regards to you and in regards to our relationship. And I thought, how cool is it that I could have a peacetime friend who I would go to war with?
Right.
Right.
I was literally like, I was like, Craig, tell me where you're taking this, buddy.
Right.
I was like, because you're 100% a peacetime friend, right? That could have just as well been a
Right.
wartime friend,
Right.
right?
That it's like, oh my God, we met during peacetime and we became friends during peacetime. And I sure as hope to hell that it's always just peacetime.
Yeah, totally.
But it's also really nice to know, like, there's a part of being able to make friends
Yeah.
with somebody that if suddenly we had to go to war, we'd be cool. Like,
Yeah.
It'd be fine.
Yeah. I'd be like, okay.
Yep.
I'd be like, here we go.
Exactly.
Yeah. The 100%. I think that's 100% a thing. I love that. I 100% agree.
Right.
I think as you were saying that, I was thinking of something. I don't remember what it was. It was I think it was right before you said wartime friends, peacetime friends.
And then that took over everything.
It did.
Have you ever heard that term before, that kind of phrase?
I don't
terminology?
know. I just
Or even just thought about it that way?
there's definitely a difference for me in like in that scenario. Oh God, if you ever get asked Jamie, like the first time we were hanging out and we were talking about zombie apocalypse teams, and she's like, "Well, I'm on your team, right?" This other guy who was a nuclear pharmacist or something like that.
Okay.
Right? Super smart, nerdy guy. Used to make his own pre-workout, right? From like compounds. He's a weird guy, but super cool guy. Very strong. Taught me a lot about weightlifting, strength training, stuff like that. Very smart guy. Name was Nate. We were hanging out doing like Korean barbecue, and he was like, he looks at me and he's like, "You can be on my zombie apocalypse team." And I looked at him, I was like, "Well, I appreciate you allowing me to be on your zombie apocalypse team." I was like, and he was like, "Yeah," and I laughed. I was like, "I don't know if you understand how these teams get formed." I was like, I'm fine on my own. I don't need a team.
I'm not a free agent.
Yeah.
I'm not out there wandering around.
Yeah. But I was like, yeah. And then Jamie's like, what about me? And we had only been dating like a month, maybe 2. And I was like, I don't know. What skills do you have? And she was very unhappy that I said that because to me, it's a different time frame. Like I was still in the Marines. Jamie works in software, right? Now I also now work in software, but in a different capacity. And she's really smart. But I was like, I don't know, what can you do? And she's like, what? And I was like, I mean, if you don't have any skills, you can't be on the zombie apocalypse team. That's the whole point of like you have a zombie. I have skills. He has skills. Like. And she's like, no, I'm on your fucking team. And I was like, I fucked this up.
Right.
Yep. But now, Jamie actually has a lot of better skills. We've really been working with it.
That's right. She's got her rear naked choke down.
What?
She's got her rear naked choke down, right?
Oh, yeah. Dude, it was so funny. And you guys will have to go back, but it's so funny to watch. Because we're sitting there, we go back to the house, and we were talking about the jiu-jitsu classes the kids were in. Lincoln is training for a competition. And so his coach was like, no, you're out. You're going to sit here in the middle and everybody's just going to run through and you don't get to stop. Right. And he was like, and he did great. He was exhausted.
Yeah.
But I mean, he almost got a fucking hip throw, like straight up, like got the kid up and started going. And the kid was able to like grab a leg around. And I was like, dude, if you would have went a little faster, you totally would have nailed that.
Yeah.
Right. Had some great roles with these kids. And Nora also just crushed it. She's just a tank in her class, right? I feel bad for all these other little kids because they're all like 4-year-olds that have been here for 3 months. And here's Nora, who's the size of a 4-year-old, a very thick, muscular 4-year-old, right? Who's 6, going to be 7, who's been doing this for 3 years, right? She's like, this will be fun, right? And this kid's like, mommy? And Nora's like, it's okay. Armbar, right? It just like fucks these kids up. But we were talking about it, and Lincoln starts talking about like, well, yeah, you didn't do a good job with the choke, and is telling Jamie how to do the choke. And Jamie and I was like, all right, I was like, we don't need to go into this. And Jamie's like, no, continue. What else do I need to do? So they're telling her, and Jamie's like, all right, well, so Lincoln explains the whole choke, right? And Jamie's kind of like, okay. And then she's like, well, what if you do all that and they don't tap? And Nora's like, you squeeze harder. Duh. And I'm like, first of all, don't talk to your mother that way, right? Like, we don't say that. That's not appropriate. Your mother's asking an actual question. We don't say duh. Right? And Nora's like, all right. And Jamie's like, so you just squeeze more? And Nora's like, yeah. And Lincoln's like, yeah, I mean, that's what you just squeeze. So they get up. We put our, like, hey, to clear the table. I'm sitting there for a minute, and Jamie comes up behind me, and she's like, all right, let me try again. And I'm like, what? I was like, oh, shit, we're recording this. She got it.
She got it.
She got it.
That's good.
She was like, how was that? I was like, I mean, my arms were tingling. It was one of the, and you could see the video. I raised my hand to tap.
Yeah.
And then she fucking grabs my face. It's puffy right here because of her watch. And yeah, she fucking.
Ben, do we need to have a conversation? Do we need to talk, Ben?
No. I got excited. And your phone call. That's why I totally know that we're fucking friends.
With my phone call?
Yeah, because I called you to get help with the editing. And you were like, hang on a minute, stop, Ben, because I'm just going. And you're like, listen, I understand that you're asking me to come in and you're looking for some help in your weird choking fetish video. And I just want you to know I'm here for you. Or I'm here for it. And I was like, fuck yes.
I thought of a better line afterwards. I'm like, I just want you to know that I'm going to need executive producer rights on this. Make sure you spell my last name correctly.
When we're accepting the award.
Exactly.
Listen, it's a super funny video.
It's fun.
Yeah.
This was fun, dude.
This was fun. I really enjoyed this.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Episode 10 of Brave Men Dare. Go subscribe. Truthfully, I don't know if we say this often enough, but it really genuinely helps the podcast if you actually click the little subscribe button.
Yeah.
And rate it however many stars. 5's preferable. If you've got the option to do like 6 stars, do 6 stars. and share it
Log
with
into
somebody.
your mom's account.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
When we moved into this house, because the TV that we have out there came with the house, and they were still logged into their YouTube. And so I went and subscribed to our podcast on it so that they could start watching the Stephen Craig show. But yeah, go subscribe to Brave Men Dare and hit us up because we are having a blast and we want to know what you guys want to hear about, what you want to talk about, what resonates with you, and what you want to hear on future episodes of Brave Men Dare. Yeah,
what can we talk about that you guys want to either hear from us or hear us just discuss? Right? It could be something like, do you know anything about like, I'm trying to think of a subject that you may not know much about.
There's many.
Do you know about like working like high steel buildings?
I have zero information about that.
Same.
The only thing that I can pull from my vast knowledge of movies is
Metal Lunchboxes.
Man on a Wire.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right? Did you ever watch the... Am I thinking of Man on a Wire? I'm thinking of the actual thing that happened where the guy hung the wire between the Twin Towers back in the 80s and walked on it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that? I mean, I don't remember watching that.
No.
Squirrels.
Sorry, team. It's after dark.
Yes.
Campfire.
This was awesome.
I'm out of juice.
I know. Let's go get some more, dude.
Yeah, dude. Later, bud.
I love you. Thank you.
Love you. You hear my dog out there?